Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. And today we are doing just one of those serialized one-shots. Today we are playing Wizard Pals, which my friend Tag here is going to be running. And we have played this a couple of times before with the same players and the same characters. You can check out, and actually this is a cross platform event, because we've done it once on this stream, once on Tag's stream, and then we're back here again on my stream. So you can check those out on YouTube if you search Wizard Pals. I know you can find mine. I don't know if Tag's is public.
Definitely the first one. It's not, but I'll make it public.
Okay. Perfect. If you're new here, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns, and today I'm going to be playing Pammy Pay the Pink, who uses she, they pronouns. And I'm going to throw it over to the players here to introduce themselves, and we'll start with Tag.
Hello, my name is Tag. I have a very nice pipe. I use they, them pronouns, and I wrote the stupid game we're going to play, and I'm GMing, so I can't tell you about the characters that I'm going to be playing.
Tell us about the characters.
Just wait a minute. Please, okay, I'll tell you this. One of them you met the last time we played.
Oh my god.
Okay. Unless you're Zavery. You did not meet this character.
Cool. Jason, do you want to tell us who you are and who you're playing?
Hey, my name's Jason. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Ruala, the currently deceased. And my favorite wizard is Donald Duck.
I didn't even do the icebreaker question this time, but yeah, that's a good favorite.
You gotta get it in there.
You have to. You always have to mention it. Zavery, who are you and who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Zavery, she, her, and I'm playing Vivian the Violet, also she, her, who is a ghost wizard for now.
Yeah, I also was gonna be like, oh, who is alive? Because Jason said that his character was dead, but I guess your character's not.
But in fact, no.
Also dead. That's two out of 4. We're not,
I only killed
not
one.
Good odds.
Uh-oh. Zay, who are you and who are you playing? Are you dead or are you alive? I honestly can't remember.
That's a good question. I'm Zay. You can use they, them for me. I'm playing James the Grey. That is James with a G. Mm-hmm. Just to be clear, you can use any pronouns for James. Mix them up, make them weird. I don't know if James is alive or not.
It's a deep philosophical question.
It's not. I don't think it's that important to James.
It really isn't. It really isn't. They're here, and that's great.
Mm-hmm. That's all you can ask. So I normally at this point would describe the game a little bit. I'm actually going to mix the order up a little bit and talk about some things that if you are watching the stream, things you can do to help us out, and then I'll throw it over to Tag to introduce the game, and also just we'll start playing. So there's some different things that you can do to help out the stream. First of all, you can, if there's a part during the game that you're like, this would be a great clip, you can use the command in chat, !marker, which I'm doing right now. And that'll make a little mark in the stream that I can go back and make a clip of. Another thing that you can do is you can tip. Is that the right command? Yes. You can tip $2 or 200 bits to help one wizard, $5 or 500 bits to help all the wizards, or $10 or 1,000 bits to let Tag do something wild that they'll just, it'll just be a surprise for everyone. And maybe it'll be in game.
Probably even me.
Maybe it'll be in game, maybe it won't be. Maybe they'll just do something wild, just, in their normal life. And then the last thing that you can do is congratulations, you're already doing it, whether you're watching us live on Twitch right now or watching the YouTube VOD later. Thank you so much for hanging out in chat and watching. We really appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy what you're about to see, which I will throw it over to Tag to tell us a little bit about what we're about to see.
Well, the game is called Wizard Pals, and that sums up a lot of it. It's a game about friendship and magic and identity. which wasn't my intention when I wrote it, but it's 100% about that. It's a very simple game that is great for one-shots, but also works surprisingly well for serialized games, much to my surprise also. The system is pretty simple. If a wizard is trying to do something in the game, you might hear me ask them to roll wizardly prowess, which just represents how good they are at acting and doing things and affecting the world around them in a concrete way. Or you might hear me ask them to roll against knowledge of sages, which is essentially their ability to sort of recall lore or learn new things. If the wizards get into a fight of some kind, which sometimes a wizard's got to throw down, I'm going to ask them for different roles that are called, I literally just talked about those to you and I forgot their name again. That's incredible.
It's fighting or armor.
Arcane Assault is what they're going to be rolling with if they're attacking something, and Enchanter's Aegis is what they will be rolling if something is coming at them with an intent to hurt them. So that's the main thing. You also might hear me or the players use the phrase "do a magic," and that is what that is. It's really the best magic system in any game because no other game is brave enough to have a mechanic that is just do a magic. And that is the game. It's available to download. If you ever bought a gigantic bundle of games to assist people in Ukraine, you own the game already. So go play it with your friends. It's very silly and fun.
And if you don't already own it, you can click on the link in chat right now and go buy it, because you should have it if you don't have it.
And there's like probably still some free community copies in there if you don't feel like buying it also. As far as I know, I re-upped them pretty recently, but who knows?
It's flying off the shelves, and if you don't get it now,
Flying off digital
maybe
shelf.
you'll never be able to. So we're not promised our days. So go buy it. Go buy it right now. Yeah, I think you can just start the game now, Tig.
All right. Well, they say that a wizard's work is never done, though the work of a wizard may be many things. Oh, every wizard has their task, of course, their purpose in this world, but even grand purpose must sometimes wait. For you wizards in particular, the past year has been difficult, to say the least. Since your friend, Ruala the Veridian, was taken from your company, you have searched for a way to restore them from their terrible and bizarre fate. To that end, Pamipe the Pink and James the Grey have traveled many weary miles. In their company, they find Olgladalo the Blue, the formerly cursed mirror wizard. She has been a dedicated companion and promises her friendship until her debt is paid to you for her role in the loss of Ruala. And I'm just going to pause the narration here to say that if all of this sounds like incomprehensible fantasy bullshit, I just want you to know that that too is the vibe of the game. You don't need to know what any of this means, I promise.
It's like the opening scroll of Star Wars when you go see it in theaters and you're like, I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck is happening.
I don't know any of these names.
Why is this here? I don't understand it until after I've seen the movie.
In your travels, you were able to reunite with Vivian the Violet, along with her stone giant companion, now known as Grant. As you traded stories of your adventures over the campfire, Vivian told you the reason she had not been with your party when you were taken to the village of giants. As it turned out, Grant beheld a powerful omen, as the rising sun was eclipsed by a moon like a great burning eye blacker in its center than the lowest depths. When Vivian and Grant returned to the camp, James, Pamipe, and Ruala were nowhere to be found. As shocking as this was, Vivian took inspiration from this moment and was able to fully translate some of the writing in the ancient tome she found within Undertower, a full stanza of the ancient riddle which she so desperately seeks to solve. And it is on this auspicious path, through a dark and otherworldly forest, that we find our wizards, as it is said in ancient tongues, in media res. Ogladalo crashes heavily to the ground with a grunt of pain and struggles to regain her feet. Pamape, the great floating stag with its shining horns and fathomless eyes, lowers its head for a charge. What do you do? And also, please describe yourself.
I thought you were gonna say I was the one who had attacked. I was like,
Pamape is wailing on Ogladalo.
I mean,
Right off the
not
bat,
out of the
together.
question. Yeah. Yeah. So Pammy Pay the Pink is. I forgot how tall originally I said she was. I think I now want to say like 7 or 8 feet tall. That may be different, but
That seems right.
She might be a different height. Who knows? And is wearing this like enormous, elaborate, like Marie Antoinette-esque dress that's pink. It has all these ruffles. It's like huge. You can't see her like really her form or her bottom half really like at all. It's just all dress and ruffles. And also instead of like a human head, she just has a big like just her neck and then just a big moon that's like like a very light pink color. And she casts her magic through her sword, but she also uses it as a sword. And so I think what I would like to do is chop at the stag. I'd like to attack.
Go ahead and roll your arcane assault, please.
Okay. I forgot to grab my dice, so I'm just gonna Google dice roller. And I think I just can't get a 1. So I think this is a success. Let me make sure. Yeah, my arcane assault. Oh, I was getting it mixed up with wizardly prowess. Okay, so I got a 13, I believe, because I got a 10 on the die, and then my arcane assault is +3.
Yeah, I mean, a 13 is good enough to hit this giant floating stag. You chop down at this thing, and it tries to kind of lock its antlers with your sword, but you manage to cleave through several bits of the antler, and it makes a... I don't know if you've ever heard a deer make a sound of pain, but they make a weird noise. And this is a very otherworldly version of that. It's not something that fills your heart with sort of like concern as much as, where did this come from?
Yeah, I say, no one attacks Ogleby except for me.
Ogladalo is trying to push herself up, and she goes, that's pretty close this time. James, as Pamipe is locked in terrible combat with this gigantic stag, you spot among the hollow-eyed spirits in the trees one which seems to have some object within it. Catches your attention from down below.
Yeah, this is up in the trees, above us.
Yeah, it's in the branches.
Yeah, I think James would like to go up and get it. And I think being in the company solely of wizards right now, James feels a little bit more comfortable, and he's willing to leave his body temporarily to go up.
Sure.
I say body. It's not really her body. It is a body to use. It's a mannequin.
Which is a body.
It works.
That's a body.
Yeah, if not a body,
and
what is it?
Body,
possession being 9/10 of wizard law.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he would like to just leave his body temporarily and drift up and grab this, if they may.
Great. So as James is floating up out of the mannequin body towards this spirit, it seems to be aware of you, even though you're incorporeal in this moment, perhaps because it itself is a spirit. And it's going to try to kind of scurry away from you. Would you roll wizardly prowess for me?
Yeah.
Remember, you want to roll high here.
Higher. So my target number is a 9, so I need a 9 or higher.
Okay.
James is good at some things and not very good at a lot of others. That is unfortunately a 1.
A 1. This thing scurries away from you, and you find yourself drifting through the trees, just chasing after it while this battle is going on down below. Vivian, as James is she's dropped their physical form to the ground, and you can sort of feel that James's essence is floating around in the trees, chasing after one of these weird little spirits that you've all seen. You hear a soft whisper from near the tree line. You look around for the source of the voice, and you see an ancient stone well nearly hidden from your view by moss and decay. It sits covered and chained close. The voice you hear can only be that of a lost soul trapped inside.
Okay. Because she doesn't want to, wander away from the party alone. But also, that's exactly what she's going to do.
She doesn't want to, but she's going to.
Yeah.
This is how we lost you the last time.
She just watched James float away and was like, and now just heard this lost voice and was like, gonna do it. So she walks over to the well.
You float over to the well, and as you kind of lean closer, you can hear the voice a little bit more clearly. And it says, "Please, the stag must be contained. If you are able to open the well and reach the totem and hurl it into the depths, it will be contained."
Who are you?
One who was slain by the terrible stag and its antlers.
How do I know you're telling me the truth right now?
Oh, I guess I hadn't really considered that. I thought sort of my voice seemed like a...
Kind of honest? Yeah. We've heard that.
Yeah, kind of like an honest portent of some kind.
No.
Yeah.
The dead never think about that, but
yeah, didn't really think I'd have to sort of show my credentials from down here, you know?
I mean, it just seemed suspicious because someone chained up this wall pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was probably that stag.
Something in or something out. Well, I mean, that's your side.
Well, I guess you could ask the stag, but right now it seems to be trying to razzle your friend pretty good, huh?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah,
Nobody needs I don't need anyone's help. I'm fine.
We were in the middle of handling that. Okay, let me get... I'm going to go talk to Pammy Pay and be like, this is...
Pammy Pay, you are actively fighting this stag.
But I can float over.
I'm just to set what that looks like. Pammy Pay is currently engaged in a dramatic sword fight with a floating stag's glowing antlers, and you kind of float up right next to her to ask a question.
I can't get in the way.
It's true.
Yeah. So I'm like, this voice in the well, it says that we need something from inside of it to deal with this.
Did it seem trustworthy, or did it seem like kind of a bastard?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay, here, I hand Vivian my sword, and I say, you take care of the stag for a second. We'll swap places. I'll go talk to that voice and see what I think.
Okay. Can I even hold the sword?
Pammy Pay is already walking away, holding out the sword, and it passes straight through your hands and clatters to the ground.
I drop it assuming that you have it. I don't even listen to hear if it hits the ground. I just have so much faith in you.
Can I ask Grant to help me?
Yeah, Grant is nearby and has been waiting and kind of lumbers forward and goes, "You want a hand with this one?"
Yes, please.
Grant reaches their massive stony hands out and grabs the stag's antlers and just is like kind of wrestling with it. And at least it's not actively attacking you right now.
Can I try to ask the stag?
Yeah.
He wants to deal with that well.
Yeah. Yeah.
The stag makes kind of a weird deer noise at you.
I've heard that one before.
James, as you are chasing the spirit around, you're getting pretty close, and I would say that you are close enough to tell that the shape that is in the spirit that you were trying to grab does look to be a like carved piece of stone in the shape of a stag's head with some simplified antlers on the top.
Okay. Is there any way for me to like get around this, like get in front of it? Right now I'm chasing it. Is there anything I can do to like, can I detect any sort of pattern that it's taking, any sort of route?
It seems to be trying to stay near this grove. It's not like bolting off deeper into the woods. So because you're chasing it, it is kind of being forced to do like a circuit around a little bit. And it's not like looking at you. It's just like it's continuing to go.
I'd really like to try and run it towards the edge of the grove then, and then like cut in front of it.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll for that. I don't think these spirits are nearly as clever as James the Grey. You juke one way and then zip in front of it, and it's coming straight at you.
Now here's the trick, catching it.
You don't have to roll for that.
Go ahead. Go ahead and roll Wizardly Prowess again, but take a +1 to your roll.
Okay. I think James is going to try and, because they can sort of like, I think, make parts of, they're essentially a floating cloud right now, mist and cloud. And they can make some of that like a little bit more firm, a little bit more tactile. And it's going to try and grab some of the branches of the tree and block the path of
cool.
This thing.
You know what? I'm going to say take an additional +1 because this is very in your wheelhouse of kind of like trickery.
Ooh, okay. That's another one. I think I need a new die.
Oh my god.
So the twos are not, the +2 is not going to help.
So you are so ready for this thing, and I don't know what the bodiless kind of magic spirit equivalent of having something just run between your legs is, but that's very much what it feels like.
Oh, it's right through.
Yeah, just passes through you.
I'm trying to like pull the trees in and like make myself firm and real, and it just goes right through with like a little puff of smoke. Like,
as it passes through you, you can hear this little obnoxious kind of laugh. Yeah, pretty much. Pammy Pay, you march over to this well. And you hear a sound that it doesn't really sound like a voice to you. It sounds like just kind of the whistling of air through a large space.
I think I'm like right by the well.
Yeah.
This is not smart. Pay is not very smart. So I think, God, what I'm tempted to do is just open the well and be like, well, she said that there was a voice in here, and I can't really hear it. So just open the top to see if I can hear the person. So I think that is what I'm gonna do. I'm just
Sure.
gonna open it.
Bambi,
Like, kind of
you
stick my head to be like, hello?
Yeah. You grab the edges of this wooden cover that's chained down, and with your mighty wizardly strength, you just shatter the wood and tear it open. And there is this flood of sickly green, smoky light that pours out and resolves itself into a vaguely humanoid form, but with a vicious, pointed grin and a really pointed lack of eyes. And a cackle comes out of it and goes, I can't believe that worked!
What worked?
God damn. See this?
I just was told there was someone in here and I didn't hear you, so I opened it up to see who was in here. You didn't.
It was me the whole time!
Trick me, I just wanted to know what was in here.
But now I am free to wreak havoc on this place again.
Okay, well, God, I've already got some other problems.
Vivian,
From
while this is
above.
happening... Oh, sorry,
From
go ahead,
above,
James.
James just, I think, in the chase has seen this, and it's just, you're always trying to open things you shouldn't.
Well, you're always trying to keep things closed, so I never get to open anything.
That's what's required.
That's what's required for you. I just believing whatever this thing is behind. I don't have time for it. I gotta kill the stag. I was hoping it was gonna be Ruala, okay? I was hoping.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Vivian, while this is happening, Grant is still hanging onto this thing's antlers, and it's kind of like swung its body forward and is like clacking its hooves against them. But Grant is just like so immovable that they're just kind of like holding the stag very calmly. They turn their what passes for a face towards you and go, Vivian, do you want to hear a riddle I learned?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
This one goes...
I started to see if the thing is going anywhere, and I'm like, I think we have time.
This one goes like this. What is orange and sounds like a parrot?
What is orange and sounds like a parrot? Is it an orange parrot?
No, that was my first guess when I heard this one too.
What's the answer?
It's a carrot.
Oh, you got me again, Grant. That was
I'm getting very good at riddles.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay, can you just keep hold of that thing for 1 second? I have to go.
Yeah, sure. I seem to be okay.
Okay. Okay. So I go float over to this person that came out of the well.
It's like this terrible spirit is like looking around the space as though actively looking for some way to cause mischief.
And I say, you see what I mean? This is why I didn't think that you sound trustworthy.
Yes, you should have trusted your instincts more than your friend, perhaps.
But like, what are you trying to do? Why?
I'm gonna go spoil some milk in some cottages and perhaps mysteriously kill some livestock or, well, no, I wouldn't do that, I guess. It's more like a...
He doesn't seem that bad. Spoiling milk is like...
Really?
I'm gonna give some people some really messed up nightmares.
That's fine. It happens.
That's not that bad.
That's terrible. Please.
Yes, now you understand.
Please don't spoil milk and give people nightmares.
I was thinking I might try this thing I heard about where I give someone 1 week to live.
Well, that's
Do
not
you want to be
Don't do
a
that.
doctor?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I could get into giving people really bad news about their health.
Somebody's got to do it. So,
Well, okay, but before you do that, do you want to hear a riddle?
Yeah, what do you got for me?
Just repeat the same riddle. So what's orange and sounds like a parrot? I'm just trying to stop.
Orange
Get back
and
to-
sounds like a parrot.
Pammy
Is
Pay's very
it?
slowly looking for her sword, presumably on the ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground exactly where you dropped it.
Bending down so slowly.
So while they're thinking, can I go try to help James get the mask thing that we need?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think the two of you working together can just absolutely corner this thing. And one of you can snatch this little stone carving out of the spirit.
I think James just like chases it, like sees Vivian coming and just chases it until she can catch it.
Cool. Vivian, you managed to snatch this thing, and the little obnoxious laughter goes from to, mom, and then the spirit just kind of like drifts away.
Okay.
You have the stag totem.
Okay. And we need
So-
to put it in the well, right?
That's what that.
But now I'm not sure because that wizard bastard lied to us.
Yeah, we don't even really. The stag attacked.
We can't trust anything
They
they say.
they might not be that bad.
Yeah.
maybe we can control the stag, or sometimes you need to destroy these things.
Okay. Can we bring it over closer to the stag and see if it reacts to the totem?
You bring the totem over, and the stag like turns its eyes towards you as it sees like the movement of you coming closer, and its eye goes straight to the totem, and it looks very surprised.
Maybe give it a command.
Give it a commit. You wanna? Okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I hold the thing and I'm like, can you like calm down for a second? I just want to.
Hey, chill.
Yeah.
The the stag is staying pretty still at the moment. It is, to be fair, also still being held in place by a stone giant. But it is looking so intensely at the totem still.
Okay. Is the well wizard like looking at the totem or trying to get to it?
The ghost that came out of the well is paying no
the ghost.
attention at this point.
Okay.
They're so consumed with trying to figure out what their evil move is going to be.
Pammy Pay has the sword in her hand and is slowly standing back.
Yeah, why not? I'll just toss it to Pammy Pay. Swing at it like a baseball.
That worked out so well before.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Yeah, I think if you want to, what I'd like to do is I'd like to try to grab it in one hand, but with the other, like, quickly, like, swing my sword at this ghost thing, this evil
Sure.
spirit. But before I swing my sword, I want to say, I've got a riddle for you. What's sharp and is about to kill you? And I want to
As you do this thing, go ahead and roll your attack.
Okay.
As you are doing this setup, the ghost kind of goes from like orange and sounds like a. Wait, hang on, I'm working on this one still.
Unfortunately, it's a 5 total.
You swing the sword and it just kind of like passes through the ghost, and it just goes like, "Oh, wait a minute, hey!"
It's the end of the riddle, so sue me.
Okay, well, again, I'm working on my own riddle over here.
Oh, you're taking a really long time.
Well, riddles are hard.
That's true.
Not a lot of people coming to my well and teaching me riddles they know, you know?
I guess I'm gonna take a now look at the thing I just got, and
Yeah, it is a small, kind of palm-sized carving out of stone of very simple, blocky shapes of a stag head with some simple antlers.
I'm the worst person to try to figure this out, but does it look like any kind of magic I'm familiar with?
You can feel that there is some magic coming off of this thing.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know that this thing told us to put it in the well, so I don't think I would think to do that. And even if I did, I know that this is self-professed evil, so I don't think I would do what it said.
It's too bad Ruala isn't here. They really knew what to do with animals.
I think I'm gonna throw
If
it
you
to
want-
yeah, I think I'm gonna
Okay,
throw it
listen, if you
to
want
James.
James to take a look, I think at this point James has come back to his body and she's walking over to you. Very stiffly, of course. It's a mannequin body.
Yeah. It's like
so
that
it moves
scene
like
from Now You See It 2 or whatever, Now You See Me 2, where they're like passing the playing card around. But
It's also like that scene from that movie Mannequin, in that there's a mannequin there.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
And well, I forget the actor's name, so never mind. I was gonna make another joke and then I forgot. So I throw it to James.
James, you catch this little totem, and you can feel the magic kind of buzzing off of it.
Do I know what kind of magic?
For that, you do got to roll knowledge of sages.
See, that I'm good at.
Okay,
So I
yeah,
just need
that's
a
good.
9 or below.
Roll low. We all saw that coming, right?
Jesus Christ.
That's
That's an
one of the
11.
worst rollers that I know.
11.
They
Yeah, I don't want to be like,
so badly.
it feels weird to be like one of those people who's like, oh, I just roll so bad. But I
genuinely do.
do think mathematically I roll badly.
I've been
James.
playing D&D with you for like 6 years.
James, this thing, you can tell that this is magic deeply connected to the core of this stag. Like a piece of it is in there, you know?
Okay. I think I look at the stag and I'm like, can you fix this? And I'm pointing at the spirit that's come out of the well.
The stag is being held by its antlers, and its arms are up like this, and it just does one of these.
You know what? You seem fine. And I'll just like drift over and hand this totem out to the stag.
The stag kind of tries to get at the totem with its mouth.
I will offer it up.
Okay, the stag takes it, goes, and swallows the totem, and there is a burst of this pale light, and all of you, including Grant, are thrown back away from this thing. And when you look back, all of the bits of antler that got sliced off by Pei's sword have grown back and grown more and have branched out and out and out. And this thing is now solidly about 18 feet tall, and it snorts and aggressively stamps its hoof, and it looks at you with incredible malice. And the ghost behind you goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe! Now look, I thought maybe you'd break it or you'd throw it in the well. The well thing was just so I could get out. That has nothing to do with it. But now that thing's so mad at you."
I helped it, to be fair.
We should go. We should really get out. We should get out of here.
Pei, I think this is on us.
Well, none of us are. Nobody's perfect, okay? It's.
You can't say that every time.
And yet I do.
Make the wrong choice. We need to fix this.
I don't know how. we were trying to do the right thing the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, now we know what doesn't.
I wish Ruala was here.
Ruala would know what to do. For sure.
I can't.
Well,
Something that we do is gonna maybe bring him back. I was really hoping when the stag narration was happening.
maybe that was part of some kind of ritual, but
We'll keep trying more things.
Yeah, keep trying more things.
It has to work.
As this thing starts stamping aggressively, Ogladalo is just like, you know what? I think we actually probably should run. This was just a thing we ran into on our way to where we were going.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe we circle back around and we deal with the giant evil stag and the ghost, but I think right now maybe we go, huh?
All right. I kind of wanted to be friends with a giant stag, but let's just go.
And Ogladalo just kind of goes, yeah, great, and just like starts bolting as fast as she can. And as you are heading away from the sort of grove that you were in this forest, you hear just the obnoxious laughter of the ghost, and you hear the snorting of the stag that you think maybe is following you, but sort of eerily slowly. As you're passing through the forest, you are running as fast as you can until you no longer hear movement behind you. And at a certain point, Ogladalo just kind of like keels forward, puts her hands on her knees, is huffing and puffing, trying to catch her breath. Okay. That could have gone worse, though, right?
Probably.
Could it have?
I think it went pretty bad.
Yeah.
It didn't go well.
I didn't say it went well. Nobody said it went well.
We don't know how bad it could have gone. So honestly, you know, in a cosmic sense, that could have actually gone really well. We still don't really know, you know, that stag didn't like us, but that doesn't mean it was bad.
Yeah, maybe it was just a personality clash.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
well...
little went right.
Yeah. But... Well, I was going to say we're on our way again, but now that we were running from that stag, we're a little off course.
Mm.
But I think if we circle around, we can probably get back to the path and hopefully not run into more stuff like that on our way to the Shadow Court.
Yeah, we probably only have time for that. That seemed like kind of an introduction for, you know, something to come, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
We may come back.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
next time,
well.
now we know for sure not to give any magic totems to any angry forest creatures.
That's right. This was a really good learning experience.
All we know really is that we shouldn't have given that totem to that creature, but we don't, like I said, we don't even really know that. The only thing we really know is we should not have let that guy out of that well, but
Yes, we shouldn't
but
have.
that's not the case for all wells and all spirits, so what we don't really know anything.
Should we go to the town and tell them to maybe like start making some cheese
Oh,
with all their mouths?
The town's all the way back that way.
We'll hit them up later.
But it's gonna spoil. Okay.
They shouldn't be drinking milk anyway, to be honest.
Grant kind of like catches up with you, slowly lumbering, and they say, "On the plus side, I thought of another pretty good riddle."
What's the riddle?
Let's hear it.
I tear paper, but I'm not mad. I wear a purse, but it's not a fad. Who am I?
I'm so confused because I didn't think that it was bad to tear paper.
Well, you might do it if you're mad, I guess.
You might, or if you're doing a craft.
Oh, right. That is a weakness in the riddle, I admit.
It's true. Paper mache is very popular.
Yeah, you could be like a scrapbooker.
Oh, that's true. Anyway, the answer was a train conductor. Should we keep going?
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
let's
that. That's good.
keep going.
You trudge through this strange and dark forest, and as you do, it seems like the light is receding more and more from your surroundings. And I mean, obviously it's later in the day, but it is still not that far off from midday. And it seems like it's getting oddly dark, and it doesn't seem like the forest is getting that much thicker or denser. It's hard to say. Your goal at this point is to reach what Ogladalo has called the Shadow Court. You've all heard stories about the Shadow Court. It's a pretty common rumor that a lot of people aren't sure if it's real. It's essentially a sort of Illuminati, maybe? Question mark? And a lot of you might have previously dismissed it as not real, but from the asking around you've all been doing following Vivian's riddle clue, that seems like the direction you want to go. Some of the answers you're getting seem to point that the answer to this section of the riddle, at least, might be something from the Shadow Court is overlooked.
Your audio all of a sudden got very quiet, Tag.
That's weird.
Oh, now it's fine.
Huh. Huh.
It was the Shadow Court. They didn't want to see it.
Yeah, the Shadow Core was like, we're not having any of this.
Silence them. Silence them.
Redacted.
They're too close.
Too close to the truth. And as you are traveling, Ogladalo has said that it would probably be safer, from what you've all heard, if you're able to reach where the Shadow Court is hiding out before it's like fully night, at least. So you're making haste. And Vivian, I think you and Grant, as you're going, are kind of puzzling over the riddle again, these two parts of it you have. This ancient riddle that, as far as you are aware, is the answer to getting yourself back to life. Part of the thing that has been so difficult about solving it and tracking it down after all this time is that it's like a series of riddles. It feels like you got to answer riddles to get the riddle to then answer, you know? So far you have two parts of it. The first part was what led you to Undertower in the first place, back in our very first time playing with this group together. And that part went, when first the living learned to die and made the mourners keening cry, away was laid as minstrels sing from deep in every sorrow's spring. Took you a while to make sense of that, but then the idea of every sorrow's spring reminded you of the stories of that chasm that Undertower was hanging into, which eventually led you to the book that you got while you were down there. The part that you were able to translate while the others were off on an adventure that you were not able to help them with was, for white to walk with living breath, they'll seek a key to kill their death. Their mortal moment be undone by kingly sign that slays the sun. And again, it was that last line that stood out to you. I can also send you that if you want it in front of you for any reason. But
Oh, yes, please.
the last line was something that really stood out to you while you... Boy, that formatted crazy in the chat, huh?
Oh, yeah.
As you were watching what I described before as what seemed like a powerful portent of the rising sun being blocked out by the moon, the shape of the corona around the eclipse was what gave you the idea of something you heard of long ago that you think might be the key to this. You don't know what makes it important to the overall riddle yet, but there is a thing you've heard of called the Argent Crown. And that is what you all think the Shadow Court might be holding onto and hiding. Now, whether or not they really have it, where they have it, hard to say. And also, it's been such a long journey just to find where you might be able to get in touch with the Shadow Court. They pretty specifically don't like to be looked up. But as you travel, you eventually find your way to an old graveyard. It's very sparse. It does not look like anyone has been newly buried here in long years. And it is only through your purple wizard senses, Vivian, that you begin to see floating just above each of the sparse graves that are there, a vaguely humanoid shade. And as you pass, each of them points in a direction, wordlessly, and they all seem to be pointing in the same direction.
So are we going to listen to these ones?
Well, they're all pointing this way because they can't. Can you all see the ghosts?
Not everyone can see them, not like you can.
Okay. Yeah, so all the ghosts around here are pointing in the same direction, like over here. Can I talk to any of them?
As you go up to one, they seem really faded. These are old spirits who are barely hanging on to a sense of identity. So they probably won't be able to say much, but they might be able to answer a question or two.
Okay. So to say, hi, what are you all pointing toward? What's in that direction?
You hear a voice that sounds like a breeze through dry, rattling leaves just sort of croak out, "The court."
Yeah. Okay. That's what we thought. We thought it would be, happier to know we're on the right track, but this is pretty spooky. It feels very somber, so I can't really celebrate how close we are. You know what I mean?
Are you talking to us or are you saying And
I'm
we
like,
can't
all
see
right.
the symbols. Only Vivian can, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Vivian like saying something and being like, "Well, it's hard to be excited. This is really scary that we can't see what she's seeing." I guess you said they were pointing. Should we walk in the direction that they're pointing?
Oh, yeah, they said the shadow court is this way.
I mean, that's what we're here for. It would be a shame to get scared and turn around.
As you are following the path being laid out for you by these shades, you can feel just that like oppressive darkness. It's like the sun is kind of receding somehow. And as you walk along the corpse roads into the middle of this boneyard, you find one thing that is not as weathered and worn away as all of the headstones. It is a tomb. There is dead ivy growing up the sides. It does not exactly look clean, but the stone is in remarkably good shape. It seems kind of untouched by time in a way.
Okay.
Does it have like a name or any writing on the outside?
There is a plate above the like iron gated door that it just says "turn back."
God name.
Hi, I'm John Turnback.
First name Turn, last name Back.
I'm unfamiliar with this wizard.
We won't be doing
Did you say there's a stone
Fine.
in the way of it? Or it's just the stone of the thing doesn't look like it's been...
The stone that it's made of doesn't look
Okay.
wrecked like all of the headstones do.
that. But there's like an iron, like a wrought iron door or something like that.
Yeah, it's not chained up or anything, but there is like an iron gate.
Well, we opened one thing and it went bad, so surely if we open a second thing, it's not going to turn out the same way.
Yeah. What are the odds that it's bad both times?
Pretty good.
Yeah, okay,
I-
but you only want to ever close things.
No. I want to open.
Oh, well then I
Portal.
think this should stay closed. I don't think we should go in there. If she wants to go in, we should stay out.
Is there a lock on the door or just?
You look at it. There is, like I said, it's not chained or anything. One side of the gate does have a place where there is a lock. You go to like wiggle the door. It does not seem to be locked. It just swings right open.
Oh, look, it's already open. So
As you pull it open,
it,
it gives the most like cartoonish.
Of course.
I wait for a spirit to cackle at us or something.
There's this moment of tension as you're all kind of like looking around, waiting for some ghost to be a jerk about this. But you hear only the stillness of the cemetery.
Well, I'd rather not stay out here.
Yeah, let's go in there where it's safe.
As
is the entrance big enough to fit my like gravestone mount?
oh my god, yeah.
Why did you say ass?
No,
Her ass returned to normal.
that's a reasonable thought. In this one scenario.
Look, back when Vivian had the most powerful ghost ass, possibly it could have been a problem, but these days it's fine.
It
Melody's
was
on my
plaguing
side.
me. You guys don't know what it's like to have a fat ass and not be able to clap it.
fit through doors. Can't fit through huge gates.
To be fair, I do think Pam and Peg does understand that.
No, Panty Pig's
Give it-
flat.
Well,
Yeah, but your head
on that
is a
side with your
move.
head
That's
is
why I have to wear the big dress.
but another part of your anatomy is quite large.
I don't know what you're talking about. Normal sized head. Does the gravestone fit through the door?
I think the gravestone can slide through. Although at this moment, you do realize that Grant probably cannot fit into this thing.
Because of his ass?
Oh no.
Kind of because of his all of him.
Yeah. Okay, Grant, can you
Also-
take here for us?
Oh, I can watch the door and make sure that nobody comes in after you and, I don't know, robs you or whatever they would be doing.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Great, I'll be right here practicing some riddles.
Okay. So we'll go in.
Hey, you be safe down there.
Oh, we'll try. Well, I'm already dead, so it's probably fine.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
you're
you
probably
be
good.
safe. Is it stairs into darkness?
It is stairs into darkness. Yeah, there's no like cartouche in here or anything.
Isn't that the second Star Trek movie? Stairs into darkness.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're on the bridge of the Enterprise, and one day there's a staircase no one
Stairs.
recognizes.
That does sound like an episode of Star Trek, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the second movie. Well, the second reboot movie.
You enter in, and I'm seeing one more for the road in chat. So the door squeaks behind you. Clank. And you begin descending the stairs. These stone stairs wind their way down into the deep and the darkness. And as you go down into the earth, you notice something odd about them. They seem cleaner. The deeper you go down, they seem smooth and free of any debris and almost finely carved at a certain point. And eventually, as you reach the bottom of this long, I'm now seeing that I misunderstood and she meant a riddle for the road.
Too late.
Well, too late. You got a door squeak instead. The staircase lets you out onto a landing, which leads into what appears to be kind of a foyer. And it's a very, very fancy chamber you find yourselves in that is beautifully appointed with these like long red silk these long red silk banners everywhere. And beautiful black marble on the floor. And there is this ornate chandelier hanging down. And I do also just want to say, as we are getting into a whole new area of this game, I wouldn't normally address our chat like this, our in-game chat. But the conversation that I had with Jason earlier today was, you pick your moment to come in. What feels right for you? And then I tried to give Jason so many ins.
So we're not doing anything wrong.
You mean all those times that
He just hasn't felt like coming in yet, so-
I have-
He could have been.
Open this door. Jason. I thought the stag was gonna be Jason. I thought the well was gonna be Jason.
I thought Jason was going to come help you.
No, he likes to watch
well,
us
I feel
suffer.
better now that I know.
Yeah, I'm not just ignoring Jason. Jason's making a proactive choice.
I put in our chat. I feel like Tig is pranking Jason and he's not actually in this. So.
Oh, I didn't look at the chat.
And I responded that, but the thought I had was this does feel like it could be a prank from Jason as well. And I might have been right. So
I think you might have been right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
We'll take
now
his moment.
now that I know I don't have to trigger like a specific thing happening.
All right. I'll come in soon.
It's up to you, man.
the longer it goes, the funnier.
The longer
No,
it
you're
goes,
doing
the less
fine.
you get to play.
No, I feel like I'm immersed in this. Rue is there. They're watching everything going on.
Okay.
They're just
Oh.
chilling.
Back of the stag, slowly far behind us.
As you enter into this finely appointed chamber, this strange foyer under the earth, something intensely dramatic happens. You hear the sound of an organ playing from somewhere. And all at once, the light from the chandelier dims and strangely seems to focus. And it's like it's highlighting something. And also, this isn't Jason. But from
Jason
above
now
you,
could just say that anything you set up, he could just jump in and say, "Do you see?"
and that's me. From the shadows of the high ceiling, the top of which you can't even see, there is descending a floating coffin. And it comes down and rests gently and soundlessly on the floor in front of you. And the door smoothly and silently swings open. And inside, there is a figure in a finely tailored suit who steps forward and bows to you and says, "Can I take any coats from you or anything like that? Do you have a bag?"
No,
So
I don't. I mean, I'm
kill
transparent, so no, not really.
Okay, nothing for the purple lady. How about for the rest of you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang on to all my stuff, but thank you.
Fair enough. I suppose you are guests of the Shadow Court.
We'd like to be.
Then please follow me. And this
This is my favorite thing.
this gangly pale figure in a black suit leads you and just kind of apologizes that you now have to go around the coffin he stepped out of, and leads you to this giant set of double doors. And he opens it and says, "Oh, wait, how shall I announce you?"
I guess
Is
it's
it
like, well,
Too late to back out.
I'm sorry, say that again?
How do you usually like? What's the standard?
Oh, it's like I list off titles and impressive things about you so that everyone knows who you are. Or I can just sort of introduce you as a group, or it's kind of whatever you're comfortable with.
Can you make it like fun, like a peppy announcement, like, "Hey, we're the
Oh,
wizard
kind of
pals."
get the energy up in the room.
Yeah.
like, do you know the theme song to the Monkees? Maybe something like that, like.
Yeah, I think I could.
Hey,
I think I
they're
could
the
make that work.
wizards, like something
Yep,
like
that's
that.
what I was gonna do with what you said.
People say we wizard around.
Yeah.
All right, so you just stand behind me, and then I'll announce you to the room. And he opens up the door, And it opens up into this vast ballroom. You almost like can't even see the edges of it. It's so huge in this chamber. And of course, the room is intensely dark, which is a big part of it. And you see in fine gilt masquerade masks and dramatic black and red suits and gowns and robes, these figures, all of whom look bloodless when you look at them closely. And some of them are dancing, many of them are talking, a few of them give you condescending glances from over the rim of glasses filled with dark red liquid. And the person who is showing you in says, "Presenting! Hey, there are some wizards, and people say they wizard around." There is no reaction into the room from that.
Fair.
I do a little curtsy.
And he goes, "Please."
Oh boy. So who does any one of these people look like they're in charge?
One thing that I would say, Vivian, is every single person in this vast chamber looks like they definitely think they are in charge. But if you would like to kind of pinpoint someone who has any actual authority in the room, if you could roll Knowledge of Sages.
Okay. I have to roll under?
Yes.
Okay. I have it 9, so let's see.
Oh, pretty good.
3.
3, yeah. You look around this room, and you see a lot of figures. Just if you could imagine dozens and dozens of people all condescending to each other in a constant stream, except for one figure who is seated at a long table and doesn't look like anyone would dare condescend to her. You see you see this tall figure in a gown with this high collar that like goes up above the top of her head, a plunging neckline, this crazy looking kind of Baroque hairstyle that is formed up into like a ring almost, and in the middle there is a sleeping bat hanging from the top. Unclear if it's a real bat.
Penny pays
I think we
everything
all
in
know
love.
what's the deal with that.
Head over heels in love.
You can see that as you notice this woman, sorry, chat was like, "Now this is Jason." Wouldn't it be wild if I was like, "And over to you, Jason," with this description? As you see this person who seems above all of this somehow, you see that like occasionally people will kind of like scurry over to her and like quietly whisper something to her. At most, she kind of like inclines her head towards them to hear what they're saying, and then just kind of like waves them away. The last one of those that you see, she looks over at all of you.
We've just been like introduced, right? Like that's the
Mhm.
last thing.
Kind of.
Now all I'm gonna be thinking about for the rest of the stream is just putting the word wizard into the rest of the theme song for the monkeys. Just like kind kind of randomly. Because then, I already put this in chat. The next line would be, we're too busy whizzing to put anybody down. We're just trying to be wizards. So I think Pammy Page just kind of is muttering that to themselves, and looks around to see if there's like a place where we're supposed to like sit, or if it's like something you're supposed to do after you're introduced.
Yeah, it's you seem to be kind of at your leisure at this point. You have been introduced, you've done the formal thing. I don't know how into courtly manners do you suppose Pammy Pay the Pink is?
I mean, I feel like probably not. So I'm imagining that like they maybe used to be more into it than they now are, which is where the dress comes from. Like maybe they used to be kind of like this was their lifestyle, and then it was just like, well, this is, you know, kind of stuck up, and it's not that much fun, and you don't get to kill people that often. So
Yeah, very rarely it functions like that.
Do, but not as often. So maybe like a little bit, but it's probably kind of rusty.
Sure. Well, from what you know, the polite thing would be to kind of like introduce yourself a little bit to some people. It would tend to be expected at a really formal function like this that, you know, you would probably pay your respects to the host of this thing. Unclear if this is like a host that Vivian has noticed, because this isn't like a house.
What?
Is this like the only room? Just like a bar?
You can see that there are some small doors dotted around the walls. You do see that very, very small amount of food occasionally comes out. You get the impression that not every single person in here is, you know, a vampire like these definitely are. Mostly that, but it didn't seem like anyone was that put off by you showing up, and everyone just kind of assumed like, oh, they're guests. You know, you are wizards. So, you know, that is of some note all by itself. Yeah, you know that some of those doors lead to like a kitchen of some kind, or at least kind of like a staging area for you know, refreshments, which when you pause and think about it might mean that bad things are happening back there.
Yeah, and some of them I assume are like just the make-out rooms.
Oh, for sure. There's entire chambers that we would have to go to black on.
Yeah. Pammy Pay doesn't know that Vivian spotted this person as the like person who's like most important in the room or whatever, but Pammy Pay did definitely see that person and is in love. And so it's just like the moon is kind of like kind of turning a little bit and then like goes in one direction, and Pammy Pay is just like, let's go talk to her. No reason.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think she has some kind of influence over this situation. So I just like float behind Pammy Pay.
James will also like float behind you, just lean into Vivian and be like, I've seen this before with them.
Pammy Pay, I don't think I mentioned this, but her mount is a big ball that she walks on. That's like kind of hidden by her dress. It's like an exercise ball. So
I forgot about that.
yeah. Ball on top, ball on the bottom. So she's just like walking over and just
You-
kind of, like, gliding.
You look like a fucked up Katamari Damacy character.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I'm just like tiptoe like on the ball, like going over toward this vampire, I guess.
You head towards the table, and I'm gonna go over to my screen on the right, and I'm gonna click generate more names.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a vampire name generator.
Uh-huh.
And I made the solid decision earlier that I would not be naming any characters in this because I had a vampire name generator, and I wanted to be delighted as I went.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the name that I have gotten for this character you're about to introduce yourself. I don't know how to say the first one. There are no vowels.
Please try.
Get your dirt.
Get her done?
No. You stand before this woman who is in this high-backed chair, and she leans her head back, and despite the fact that she is seated, seems to be looking down her nose at you. And she holds out a bejeweled hand and says, "Lady Gooddirt Cold Cloud."
I bow so deeply. The top of my head touches the ground.
Her eyes flick to her own hand and then to you as though she's expecting something.
I can't see because my head is... All I can see is my own dress.
She like raised her hand like how? Can I give her a high five? Oh, like this. I love that. No, I want to check out her jewelry to see if it's anything like silver. So I just like go hold her hand like this.
You just you take her hand and are inspecting her rings.
Wow.
A couple of them are like those jewelry like claw things that go down to chains that go to a bracelet on her wrist. There is a big jewel on one. Most of it does seem to be silver. You don't get a specifically magical vibe off of most of what she's wearing.
Okay. I let her hand go. I see, those are nice. Very Paris Fashion Week.
She just kind of like stares at you flatly and takes her hand back. And you are wizards, I am led to believe.
Yes. My name is Vivian the Violet. Some call me the bringer of those who wander. And as you can see, we've wandered quite a ways away.
Yes, you are far afield from the land of the living.
Sure. Yeah.
Debatably, whether any of us are.
Living?
Are you alive?
Oh, I'm very much alive.
Ogladalo is just like, I am also alive.
Not for long.
To be honest, I forgot you were there.
I've been pretty quiet. I didn't want to... Doesn't matter. I'm going to shut up. You're doing great.
I'm Pammy Pay the Pink, and some people call me the devourer of the sacred flame. Secret flame. So that's what I'm known for.
Very impressive. And you?
I am James the Grey, banisher of the acid winds.
Hmm.
But Not important.
Well then, wizards, James the Grey, Vivian the Violet, Pammy Pay the Pink, your blue friend. What is important to you here in this den of darkness?
I look at Vivian because I think Pammy Pay doesn't quite know even like really what we're doing.
Even James is kind of like, this is your thing.
Yeah, because I haven't decided if I just want to like tell her, or if this is like a stealth mission. um, I'm just like, well, this is a nice party you have. Why are you all gathering here today?
A party? How quaint a party. This is no mere soiree. This is a meeting of the most powerful minds of our age, where we decide the direction of the world above, as well as the world below.
I'm sure.
Oh, good, because we're also some of the most powerful minds of our age. So I'm glad that we got here before you started without us.
Yes, and she kind of like narrows her eyes, which you when you look at her eyes, they are just black, just the deepest black. There's almost no shine on them either, which is really intensifying that impression. It could be quite useful to have wizards here.
Okay, I think I'm going to introduce my character now. So, as this vampire lady's talking about how the most powerful minds have gathered, you hear a familiar voice a few tables away being like, yeah, so it's like a really, really great film. I'm dying to see the second one. I think we should all go together. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I think we could all get up there and just do like a group trip. Are you guys on AMC A-list?
The group that you are looking at, I'm just going to see how many names can I generate at once. I wish this had been the person that you first spoke to. They all kind of look at you blankly, Rue, and the one to your left, whose name you know is Helena Merkblade, just sort of tilts her head to the side, a little unnervingly, honestly. It just kind of like flops on its side. AMC.
Yeah, it's a movie theater chain. They have all types of theaters so that you can see Pandora in its full splendor. IMAX.
I'm more of a
Dolby.
draft house kind of gal. I like an independent.
Well, they're not that independent.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're kind of a big entity.
Are they?
I'll
I thought
support
there
the
was
film
just
anyway.
the one.
I mean, their presence is like pretty big.
Oh.
But I'll see it there. We could go draft house. I just need someone. If you can influence a living person to get the tickets, they can log into my account. We can set it up. I just think this Illuminati. You don't know what needs to happen to the world until you see this movie.
Another one of these vampires you're sitting with, who you know as Orgiev Moon Rule, places his hands on the table aggressively and goes, I understand what you're saying.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
We will see this, and then we will understand the mortal mind, such as it is.
Yeah, exactly. Once you've seen Pandora, it's like even if you're mortal, you live forever. You live on in the spirit of the trees.
It's complicated though, because I'm not sure it's still in theaters at this point.
Well, luckily for you, I've got a bunch of DVDs. Here you go.
Of the second one too?
No, not of the second one. Damn it.
Also, weren't they Blu-rays?
You don't understand. When you die, all your Blu-rays turn into DVDs.
No, the worst part of death.
Oh, terrible fate.
I'm gonna say at this point, you all hear. I mean, it's hard to miss just how discordant this moment is from the rest of the situation. You all hear this very familiar voice talking about a movie that you've only heard one person bring up in conversation.
My head whips around so much that I immediately like pull a muscle in my neck.
Rue, could
Right
you
in front of your
describe?
crush?
Could you describe what everyone sees as they look over at this table?
You hear Rue's voice. They sound the same as they did before, but you look over at the table, and seated with a bunch of vampires is a giant sandworm. My new form is a Shai Halud from the novel Dune and film. I see you guys, and I'm like, oh shit! I didn't want them to see me like this. Oh no! Oh god!
What the fuck happened to you, Rue?
You guys, oh, it's good to see you. I know,
You you hear the voice of Gertrude Cold Cloud behind you as you've turned away from her. She goes, "Ah, I see you know the Dune enthusiast."
Oh, fuck.
I don't think she cares about Dune, or they care about Dune. I don't know what's going on.
No,
Guys,
look, they're in a whole cosplay for the situation.
that's not
Whoa,
that's
is
not
this a
what this is.
cosplay?
No, this is my. So, I committed a great sin during my final times on Earth. The last film I saw wasn't Avatar, it was Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 1. And because of that, when I passed, I took the new form of this Shai Halud monstrosity. So I look like this.
Yes. I think they could have come back as Zendaya.
This might be worse.
I know. This is the worst fate I can imagine. The only way I think I can find my true form or pass on or both is to see Avatar 2 in theaters.
I don't know. I could try to kill you and see if you come
You
back
can't
as-
kill a Shai Halud. It's so difficult.
I don't know. I don't really know about Dune. It's too
It's
long.
very hard.
Yeah, it's too long. I totally didn't care for it. I would never. I'm an Avatar kind of person, so Dune means nothing to me.
I fell asleep during the trailer, to be honest with you.
It's so boring, and Denis Villeneuve, he doesn't hold a candle to James Cameron. We all know this.
Mm-hmm. I've been told by you.
Repeatedly.
Even before this.
Ruala, Ordinila Direspawn climbs halfway onto the table and says, Cameron, James Cameron, sort of a hack, I think. Overrated.
What the hell did you just say to me? All right, I'm gonna do an arcane assault.
Oh no.
We should probably help out. This is going to get ugly.
What do I want, high or low for
No,
this?
they're a sandworm. They're pretty strong.
You want high for those.
Okay. Okay, I got a 6.
A 6. Her defense score was not high. So you, as
I
this
eat her.
giant sandworm, just say, "What the fuck did you say?" and devour this vampire. And everybody else kind of like backs up a step, and there is this moment of tension in the chamber, and then everything kind of goes back to normal.
Good.
That's kind of cool because normally they eat people, so.
Yeah, it's a real subversion of expectations. That's what I was going for. And I feel like Cameron understands that as a narrative designer.
And every time I think I know where one of James Cameron's movies is going, it always turns out different. I never thought that boat was going to sink because they kept saying it was not going to.
They said it was unsinkable.
They said it was unsinkable, so I was like, oh, okay, this is just a nice little romance.
Really?
And then...
Yes.
And then the last time was really surprising.
Oh my god. I was going to ask Vivian to roll for something, and I swear to God, it so fully left my brain.
I'm sorry. This is why you don't tell me when to come in.
No, this is good. I'm glad you didn't play for the first hour and a half.
It was worth it.
Oh my god.
So, like, could you sense us when we were walking around on the ground? Is that like a thing you can do?
What?
So, like, could you sense us when we were walking up there on the ground?
Oh yeah, I've been like kind of keeping track of you guys, but I was so embarrassed about my worm body that I just, even when it made sense for me to show up, I was just staying under.
Well, you should have known. I mean, it would have been great to see you sooner. Like we all thought you were dead, and you died.
Yeah, but not like this.
Way.
Well, I mean,
we don't judge. We learn from James Cameron's Avatar not to judge by appearances.
Oh, I should have known you guys would be cool about this. Now I'm even more embarrassed.
If you think about it, this is kind of like Avatar because your soul is in a different body.
Wow, it's so true. I didn't even think of that.
Will help.
You'll take me to see Avatar too? I'm sure it's going to get re-released soon.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Sure. We've got kind of a riddle thing we're looking into, but Vivian's probably going to figure that out like any minute, and then we can go see Avatar.
Yeah.
Okay, I
managed.
managed.
James, you guys
have
too.
Like a Disney Plus subscription.
I think I died before. No, that's not true. You know what? I died before they put Avatar on Disney Plus, so I didn't bother with the subscription.
Somehow I remembered what I was going to have Vivian do.
Oh, okay, right. We're playing a game.
Takes total control of the situation.
I don't need to be. This is what I wanted. It's working out great for me. Vivian, could you roll knowledge of sages, please?
Yes. Oh, a 2.
A 2. Very, very good. I'm going to say with a 2, you're thinking about Rue's predicament. And if the stories that you have heard about the Argent Crown are to be believed, you think that it could be an important artifact for your hopes to, return to life. And you don't know the specifics of this object. You've never seen it. You've never touched it. But you think it's possible that it could also get Rue back into their own body, barring the whole thing where like you go see Avatar, The Way of Water, and they pass on from this world because their purpose is complete. I mean, whichever one,
6 of one, half dozen of the other. Is that what Rue thinks will happen? That they'll pass on, or do you think you're gonna turn back into yourself?
I don't know. I read the rule book. I think I think I'm gonna pass on.
That's kind of the thing, right? As Rue says that, you all kind of take in what they're saying for a moment, and you consider, oh my god.
What are you doing?
It's the sandworm.
This is my
Cut
costume.
that out of the book?
No, it's from the board game.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it's from the Dune board game that we all own.
Have you? Has it been waiting for like 2 hours now?
Remember when I said, give me 5 minutes, I'm going to go get my costume?
I was surprised you didn't come back with anything obvious, and now I understand.
Yeah.
The thing for you, Rue, is that you, as an astral wizard, do kind of understand certain things that essentially are the text of the rule book, right? You understand something kind of outside of yourself. And the fourth wall means very little to you at this point.
Well, also, you got to read the handbook of the recently deceased, right? And then there's also sandworms in that, so.
Oh my god, you're right.
That's what I thought you were when you first said you were a sandworm. That's what I thought you were doing Beetlejuice, but no, I was wrong. Doing Dune.
It's related. Let me explain the concept of the monomyth real quick.
Yeah, I kind of thought you were a taxon from Animorphs.
We need to switch over to an overlay with just Tag's camera really big, so
I can describe the monomyth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's be the worst stream anyone's ever made real quick.
Or best.
Oh, God. Boy.
We also, if you're collecting yourself, we could also take our break. Unless you have
yeah.
unless you have.
Let's just throw it a break. I was gonna.
We went too far off the rails.
We could get something out of the way and then go to break, or we can just go to break and sure. Let's just real quick. Does Vivian kind of fill everyone in on this thought about, and you don't have to. This isn't me trying to push you in a direction to, are you letting the rest of the group know about this thing that you have thought of regarding the Argent Crown?
Yeah. I want to tell everybody about the riddle and tell them I think it referring to the Argent Crown.
So once Rue is kind of up to speed on the idea that the Shadow Court is hiding this powerful thing, it's so funny that it took this long to get to this because it was kind of a throwaway thing.
Oh, I thought you were saying this is the plot.
Ruala, you when you were right before you felt like it was your moment to really try and convince this table of vampires to talk about going to see Avatar together. Tainteeker Farshade had a few too many drunk humans throughout the night. And they were starting to slur their speech. It could have been the weird accent. It could have been the, blood alcohol they were taking in. But they did lean into you at one point and were like, we have a lot of secrets here. There's even a secret door out of this place over in one of the corners. And that's where all of the cool stuff is, I think. I've never been back there, but I know a guy who said he was, and it was good.
Oh, cool. We should go over there.
Yeah, let's go over there. You were saying something about a movie earlier, and that's the flashback.
Oh, yeah. Then I tell everyone, if you're looking for like some sort of MacGuffin or something, I think they keep all of the unobtainium behind this secret door over there.
Did you hit your head?
Hmm?
No, I just did. I stopped being able to understand you for a second, so.
I don't think they have a head.
So no head?
No head.
I mean, it's just sort of body and then mouth, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it could be all head.
One long head. Fascinating.
Long head.
Boy, this seems like a really good time to go to break, doesn't it?
Okay, everybody, we'll be back in 15 minutes for more of whatever this is. While we're on break, you can see a little more information about all of our players, and this is also a good time to go get a drink, get a snack, take a bio break, whatever you need to do. And we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Y'all want to say goodbye to the chat for now?
Goodbye to the chat for
Bye.
now.
Hi, chat.
Bye. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of our one-shot of Wizard Pals. Normally I would give a little recap, but I'm not GMing this time, so I'm actually gonna throw it over to Tag for them to explain what the fuck has happened so far.
I will do my best. These brave wizards, after months and months of traveling, came together and have been on their way to find a group which is called the Shadow Court. On their way there, they were waylaid by a strange and angry magical stag, and a ghost who was kind of just a real jerk. And they escaped that situation, found the entrance to where the Shadow Court was holding court. And while down there, they have been reunited with their friend Ruala, formerly the Veridian. I don't know what Ruala wants to call himself now as far as a title.
Oh, I don't know the color, but my new title is Ruala, the Phantom of Arrakis, instead of Weaver of Pandora.
Yeah. I mean, Ruala has returned from beyond the veil of possible death, no longer looking like one of the Na'vi from James Cameron's fever dream masterpiece, Avatar. And instead as one of the sandworms or the Shai-Hulud from specifically Denis Villeneuve's version of Dune from not that long before the second Avatar came out. So you really just barely got in there for this joke.
I'm so out of the loop for any reference point of this that I thought his name was Dennis. I did not realize it was Denis. So,
Oh yeah, he's very European.
I don't know. And I keep thinking you're gonna say Shia LaBeouf when you say whatever.
I absolutely have.
Yeah. Denis Villeneuve's, Dune and the Shia LaBeouf of it all.
I don't know Dune. But Pammy Pay does. Pammy Pay knows everything about Dune.
Pammy Pay is very familiar with Dune. Real Herbert head. Very, very briefly, the wizards have been in this large ball being held by the Shadow Court, which appears to be a shadowy cabal of vampires who are just the worst. And in the time that they've been there, Rue was able to find out from a drunken vampire that there is a hidden door somewhere in this chamber.
If there's a door, we gotta open it.
For once, I agree. But only this door.
Ogladalo goes to high five you, Pammy Pay, for catching James in that trap.
I high five really hard.
She holds her hand in excruciating pain.
I don't notice. Pam's gonna go toward the door. I think.
Yeah, I guess we go to the door.
Well,
Is anyone watching us?
I mean, there are people paying attention to the strange group of 5 wizards for sure. They're not necessarily watching you in a suspicious way, but you are being noticed.
We need a distraction.
Can I cast a spell? Because as a gray wizard, one of my spell options is to make the whole party go unnoticed.
Ooh.
That's true.
pretty useful.
Now, before you use the spell, I do want to point out that you know that there is a door, and it's in one of the corners of this huge building. You don't necessarily know specifically where the door is.
Well, they seem to someone here knows. We'll get there.
Oh yeah, the guy I was talking to said they know a guy who's been behind the door. He's still sitting at the table. Hey, buddy. What's the name of your friend that's been behind the door with all the cool stuff?
The name of my friend, I would love to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now. My friend's name is Hagiani Deadrune.
Cool. And do you have any siblings?
Do I have any siblings? As in siblings to me or siblings to Hagiani Deadrune?
You... Never mind.
Do you have any siblings who are actually a different person's siblings?
Yeah.
Forget it.
Did you interrupt something? Did we interrupt? Is this a date?
Oh, no, I was just looking for friends to see Avatar with, but now that you guys are here, we can go. Where's Hagiani sitting?
Oh yeah, that's him right over there. And he points to this 6.5 foot tall vampire who is all dressed in black, like so many of them are, and has his arms folded across his broad chest, and has a very visible and wicked-looking knife on his belt, and he's just kind of like scanning the room.
Okay, Vivian, we have to talk to that guy.
No, he looks friendly. Okay. Well, what do you want me to say? Like, ask him where the door is? You think he's just gonna tell us?
It sounds like he's pretty proud of seeing what's behind the door. So maybe if we like kind of hype him up, make him feel big about it, and make it feel like, you know, he's telling us like a cool secret, he might let something slip.
Okay, so I like float over. I like don't start talking to the guy, but I'm just like pretending that I'm talking to my friends. I'm being like, oh, that's nothing. The coolest treasure that I've ever seen was this like giant kind of like pyramid glass, and when you hold it up it like changes different colors, but when you point it at things it makes flowers grow.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I know, cool, right?
And I saw it too, and it's exactly as she described.
Oh my gosh. No one could show us a cooler treasure than that.
I don't think there exists a cooler treasure than that.
You all hear just to the side of you.
What was that about?
Oh, a magic prism. I mean,
yeah.
it sounds okay, I guess.
Well, it's not like you see a magic prism every day. I bet you don't even have a magic prism.
And
Maybe
it makes
you
flowers
don't.
grow. I don't know.
Maybe you don't see a magic prism every day.
Oh, so you've seen a magic prism?
I'm practically tripping over the things.
Yeah, right. Where would you even see a magic prism at?
Where would I even see a magic prism? Check this out. And he reaches into a pocket, pulls out this little tiny gem, and holds it up to the light. And for some reason, instead of like a rainbow of colors, it just casts a dark spot.
Whoa.
It's the
Pretty
shadow.
powerful, right?
They're attacking you. Yeah. I don't know if you heard, but my friend said that it showed different colors all over the place and made flowers
And it
grow.
makes flowers
That's
grow.
just a
I mean,
shadow. You just
the
cast
colors-
a shadow.
The colors thing, that's just a regular prism. The flowers thing, I'm a vampire. That wouldn't actually do me any good.
What?
Yeah, but
Okay.
a prism that makes I mean, I could just hold up a block and it would make a shadow.
No.
Just
But
hold up
look,
my
you're
hand.
Yeah.
okay. But again, you're not looking at this from a vampire perspective. Okay, if I get this in the right position, I can cast a big shadow, make all that light go away through this little cool prism, and then I'm safe
Well,
from
yeah.
the sunlight.
The closer you put the object to the light source, the bigger the shadow it will cast. That's just normal.
That's just
That's
a
just how
rock.
light works.
You
Yeah.
could just get
Yeah,
a
I don't
Okay.
think you could block out like the whole sun with that. It's so small.
Depends on how high up you hold it.
I mean, we're underground. You're not getting very high.
I don't need to be down here.
Okay, we're not impressed, buddy. So unless you got something cooler to
This
show
is
us-
the magic prism I just had in my pocket. All right.
Well, then what's the coolest treasure you've ever seen?
And can we see it?
I don't know if you're ready for the coolest treasure
Guys,
I've
let's
ever
just go
seen.
see Avatar. We don't have time for this.
I doubt it's even that cool.
Oh, it's pretty cool. It's so cool that the entire shadow court is hiding it.
This seems like a lie to me.
We've been
I'd have
lied
to
to a lot.
get to believe it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look, you want me to prove it to you? I guess I
Yeah.
don't have proof on hand. That's true.
I mean, I think you would have to show it to us.
He seems to get just like a little bit uncomfortable. And is like, all right, look, I'd love to show off this amazing treasure to you. Here's the only thing about it. Nobody is supposed to see it. I'm not even supposed to have seen it. If anybody found out I was showing some wizards this thing,
That sounds like somebody who's lying.
It'd
and
all
is
be
You're making up a reason why we can't see it.
Pretty good excuse.
no, I did take a blood oath that if anyone tried to check this thing out who wasn't supposed to, I introduce him to my friend here, and he pats the knife on his belt.
Well, how
Oh,
do you know
does-
we're not supposed to? We were just talking to Gertrude, and she welcomed us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she showed us her rings.
Did you kiss him?
No.
Oh god, she's gonna be pissed.
Really?
I
Yeah.
complimented them.
I mean, that's not nothing.
I would never want anyone to kiss my rings. It would tarnish them.
I don't even
She's-
have lips.
Yo, I mean, she's got a boy for that, you know? She's got a ring polish boy.
Oh, to polish them. I thought you meant to kiss them. I don't
No.
have lips either, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't really have lips either.
Oh, hey.
I think none of us really.
Looking around at you all.
None of us really do.
Not a lip between you.
These are plastic. And James taps at their face.
You know what? Maybe she's not pissed, actually. Maybe she'll have figured that out.
You.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're lying to us, and we've
Hey,
seen
I'm not lying to you.
Oh, he
said the
hasn't
liar.
seen a good treasure.
Well, it's just look. I mean, okay, look. Hey, I feel like I want some. Maybe I don't. Do I want someone to roll for this? It's funnier if you don't.
We
If
can't
this
just
is
bully
you've all.
this person.
Yeah, if you guys just bully this guy, I think it's funnier. I don't think I want you to roll.
You don't even have, you probably don't even have blood, so the blood oath probably doesn't even really matter anymore.
I have blood. You don't know how vampires
I
work.
thought it was called vitae once you become a vampire.
What are you talking about?
Wow. Wow. She knows more about this stuff than you.
Just a book that.
Oh,
I read.
yeah? You think I don't have blood? He pulls out his knife, slices off all 4 of the fingers on his left hand, and blood sprays.
That is pretty
Well,
cool.
Okay,
got you there.
Okay, I was wrong. I guess that is
that's
blood.
true. I mean,
Full
I
of
guess we
blood.
can believe him
Almost
about
too
one
much
thing.
of it in there.
Not anymore.
I mean, check this out.
Oh my
And
God.
like the blood kind of streams back to his fingers, and his fingers reattach.
Whoa, that was a
Like
cool trick.
that.
I,
Do you know like any card tricks you want to show us?
Card tricks? You're the wizards, you know? Anyway, look, listen, I'm not a liar. You see over there?
Any proof of that?
Over in that corner there where there's a sconce in the wall?
Uh-huh.
If you pull on the middle part of that sconce, there's a secret door. But, look, here's the thing. If I find out any of you have gone in there, I do have to kill you with my knife, like I said.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Do you think you could just kind of look over in that direction for the next like hour?
Over there?
Yeah. We run to this like Scooby-Doo characters.
So yeah, I want to cast a spell here, and I don't know which one now because I've got two that work.
I mean, you can use both.
Yeah, you know what? Why not? I was going to ask about that because I wasn't sure how that worked because it is.
Yeah,
they are like different spells. Okay, but yeah,
since they are different spells, you re-roll for the individual spell.
Cool. So in that case, then I will. So as soon as like Pepe starts running, Jade's like, "Oh shit!" And like, I think kind of waves her arms and like spreads some fog out to kind of shroud everyone. And I will make the whole party go unnoticed. For I guess as long as Tag rules that we're unnoticed. And
you can move through this room for sure.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna turn back around to this this guy we've been talking to.
Oh no.
And just hey, I think you should just forget this. Just forget we were even here. Go impress someone else. And I'm gonna make a creature forget all the details of our last interaction.
No, this could go
great.
so bad. Because then
But currently you are all unnoticeable.
Whenever we come out this door.
I just wanna describe this. So Hagiani Deadrune is told, could you look over there for like an hour maybe? And he goes, what, over there? And then you're all invisible and he forgets the entire conversation he just had and goes, what am I looking for? You all slip away.
And I rolled a 1 and a 6 to regain my spells, so I do lose them.
You lose your spells. Oof.
For now.
For now. But you slip away and find your way over to the wall sconce that was indicated to you. Excuse me. I believe he said you pull the middle part of the sconce. Does one of you do so?
I'm assuming Pammy Pay because Vivian can't. I think. I don't know if Ruala can. James is talking to the other person, so I'm assuming it's me. So yeah,
just because we're having that NPC thing happen, I'm gonna have, right as you're reaching for it, Pammy Pay, Ogladalo is going to like lean over to you. Hey, do you want me to keep an eye on things in here, or do you want me to come with you?
I guess. I mean, what do you want to do?
Oh, I mean, I want to see how this all plays out, but...
Well, then come on in.
All right, I'm going in. What could go wrong? Okay, the mirror wizard sticks with you. You pull on the sconce. A door soundlessly slides open, and there is a long hallway ahead.
Yeah, I go in.
You head in. Everybody is following behind you. James, you are in the back of the group, having been talking to this deeply stupid vampire who was not like that before. The conversation happened and the improv took me away. And as you slide through, the door closes behind you and you are in pitch darkness. You cannot even see your hands in front of your faces if you try.
Oh, I have a trick that I can do. I can create a small flame. So I'd like to do that. So I think I just draw my sword, and like the end of the sword is just like on fire.
Perfect.
And also whenever I cast magic, it's as if like the moon head, the craters kind of leak like pore-like, except for that it's like red liquid that kind of is like condensation on my moon head. And so I have my flame sword in my hand, and I'm kind of like, you know, got some blood condensation on my head. And I'm like, onward!
Yeah, you've got a perfect light source as you open that up.
How do I have to roll to see if I lose this trick?
No, that's just a trick.
Tricks
Tricks you can
always
do
okay.
whenever. So yeah, you've got a solid light source. As the five of you go forward, you notice that it's kind of the opposite effect of as you were coming down the spiral stairs. The floor underneath you goes from being this like smooth, perfectly polished marble to being a bit rougher hewn. And it seems almost older than the construction that you were in previously. And at a certain point, you notice that there's almost like a crunchiness to your steps. Feels almost like little parts shifting under your feet. Pempe, you hold your torch and look down, and I mean, it's hard not to almost be, I don't want to put, thoughts in your mind and feelings in your heart. It's almost hard not to be just like eye rolling about this, except that you don't have eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just whenever I want to roll my eyes, I just roll my head around like this.
There are just skulls embedded in the floor and the walls. It is like a French catacomb down here.
It's very hard to roll my ball on, but nevertheless, I persist.
And the dramatic nature of these vampires strikes yet again. As you go forward, you can see a bit of light up ahead. It is this sort of intense reddish light that is shifting. And as you get closer, you can see that the chamber opens up into a room. And you see up on the walls and on the ceiling all around these eyes. They look like they are carved out of stone, but they are moving a bit like real eyes, all independently, each with a red beam of light coming out of it, creating almost this grid all throughout.
Cool.
I think I look to Ruala to see if they have any insight in what could be happening here.
I've not seen this in the films that I've watched.
Either of them.
What? sidetrack, but I think it's like, Ruala, I'm just kind of curious, what prompted you to want to watch Dune?
Avatar 2 kept getting delayed, and I just needed to go to a world of magic. And, I watched the movie once or twice. I didn't even care for it 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times?
Listen,
That's like
shut up.
30 hours.
Listen, I mean, whatever. I'm not even excited for the second part, okay? So let's move on.
Well, you can be honest with us.
We're not going to judge.
No, I'm an Avatar fan. That's my identity. Even though I look like this,
You can't judge. You don't have hands to gesture with.
I look like this.
I just think you should be honest, because part of what we're doing is we're trying to either transform you back to what you were or move you on to the other side. And so if you really like Dune and you'd like to continue,
Oh my god.
you'd like to continue being a sandworm, we should know.
No. Let's keep going. This is Vivian's thing.
Okay. So we have a laser maze. Like any good heist.
Yeah, this is pretty sick.
Okay.
I bet you James is wishing that they hadn't used up that spell a minute ago.
I don't know, would it work?
Yeah.
It's unnoticed, not unharmed.
Yeah, the eyes don't notice us.
Yeah, because they are eyeballs. So I was wondering if we could just have them look somewhere in like a direction that we can pass by.
That's a good idea.
So yeah, I guess, can one of us do a magic?
Oh, you can absolutely do a magic.
If you guys beat the shit out of me, I could actually do better at doing magic.
The feature of the Red Wizard, so rarely utilized.
What would they find interesting? Maybe we make that magic flower prism. Because they've only got skulls down here to look at.
Yeah.
So maybe we like grow some flowers on the wall. They can look at it.
Oh man, that's so good. Oh wow. That's okay.
I forget how to do a magic. Do I roll?
So, to do a magic, you've announced your intent to me, which is step 1.
Okay.
There are 3 categories of a magic you can do. There is a little magic, there is a big magic, and there is a wonder. Now, if you had contextless come to me and said, I would like to make a magical prism that makes lots of lights and colors and also can grow flowers, I'd have been like, yeah, that's a little magic. But you really talked up the impressiveness of this treasure.
Okay, counterpoint. It is obviously something that really exists, that Vivian has really seen. So
we don't know that.
Wouldn't it just be
definitely is a real.
It's just calling the thing to us. She doesn't have to create it. Vivian and Pammy Pay have both 100% for real seen this thing. It wasn't something that Vivian just made up. It wasn't.
The other guy just said he carries magic prisms around in his pocket.
Just go back to that guy.
Hey, can we borrow a magic prism? I know you don't know us. Oh my god. Oh man. I sort of want it to be a big magic roll.
Okay.
It's not a wonder, certainly. But what you want to do is roll a d12 and roll above an 8.
Okay. I've only rolled a 2 and a 3 so far.
So statistically, you have to roll an 8 now.
Oh yeah, that's how.
I mean, I haven't succeeded on a roll yet, so I don't know that actually holds up.
Okay.
They're extenuating circumstances.
Oh no! Oh no, Savory!
It's a 2.
Wow.
That wouldn't have even successfully been a little magic.
Twice, I thought.
It makes the worst little like dying flower.
It makes it makes the thing that guy showed us. I feel like it's just a rock.
So you make just a rock and you hurl it into the room. It skitters across the ground. You see as all of these beams of red light converge on that point, and for a second you're like, it worked. And then seconds later, they follow the trajectory and all of the red light washes over you.
Oh no! No!
So do we run or
Just go.
Fly, you fool!
I'm a ghost. I can just go.
She's already dead.
I will stand in front of Vivian because if I get hurt, I'm better at magic. So if these things I want it to hurt me. So I stand in front of Vivian to block her from the lasers.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say so. This counts as a moderate negative effect. If this had been wonder, a different thing would have happened. But the red lights, the pupils in these magical stone eyes do kind of just like dilate in, focusing the beams of light. And a bunch of lasers shoot now at Pammy Pay.
That's fine.
I think you're just gonna straight up lose 2 vitality points.
It's making me stronger. I can feel it.
You get sort of blasted back a little bit, which as it pushes you back into the hallway a little bit, you're not quite like directly in their path anymore. And after the chamber stays awash in red light for a few seconds afterwards, as though they're checking on you. And then after a few seconds pass, they seem to go back to kind of darting around the room.
I really thought I was gonna get blasted. Should they wait? If you're, like,
They just
dead?
keep shooting you.
And then they shoot you again. That actually wasn't too bad. I think we could just walk through this.
We could just run.
You could all get under my skirt, and that could shield you all. Except, well, probably. Sorry, Ruala, probably not you.
Yeah.
Rue, can you tunnel from here or something like that?
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you guys want to just get in my mouth and then we could do something like that. Or I could try and distract the eyes with my portable DVD player. I'll just put Avatar on it. See, guys, this is how you do it. You just say you have stuff.
That would destroy your
Did you have that the whole time?
player.
I have so many of these.
Yeah, I've got so many. Do you know how cheap those things are now?
Where are you keeping it?
It's in my body. I just throw it up. It's a slimy
And somehow
DVD
that's
player.
the most gruesome thing that's happened yet.
I accidentally throw up a copy of Denis Villeneuve's Arrival and Blade Runner 2049. I'm like, shit. Oh, damn it. Those aren't mine. I was holding those for a friend.
Ruala loses
We
a
really
vitality
got this.
point for embarrassment.
Rue, if things have changed with you, that's
No,
you'll
no.
They
understand.
don't want to talk about it. I tried to get them to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it.
Guys, just look at my letterbox. It's Avatar all the way, all blue.
I commune with the spirits. I hold my fingers to my head to see if I can sense the letterbox.
Now, Jason, I'm gonna ask you, and I swear to God, I've never needed you to be more honest with me.
Mhm.
Is it only Avatar?
Oh, the letterbox?
Yeah.
I think I have a burner account that has my other reviews on it.
Okay,
Smart.
so here's what I'm gonna say. Pammy Pay, roll knowledge of sages.
Okay, this will go great. I'm really good at that. Yeah, that's a 10. So.
Damn it.
Oh, it's all
No.
Avatar. It's
Wait,
all
no,
Avatar.
I was being sarcastic. I have to roll a 1 to get knowledge of sages correct. So
Yeah.
So it's all Avatar.
So it's all Avatar.
You know what? They're telling the truth. I connected to the tubes.
I'm glad we all agree on that. I don't know if this use the portable DVD player plan that I just did is going to work. We can try it.
We've probably never seen any movies.
That's so sad.
Yeah, you could try it. And then
Okay.
the worst case scenario, your DVD player gets destroyed.
Got so many of these.
Maybe I'll step in front of it. I don't know.
No, it's okay. All right, I start playing Avatar. The 20th Century Fox thing starts going off with the drum roll and everything.
Okay. Surely. Okay. I'm realizing in this moment that I should have designed some kind of group role mechanic. But I'm going to say just whoever is in the lead of this, as you are distracting the eyes with playing this DVD of Avatar in one side of the chamber. Okay. I think whoever is leading the charge, give me a wizardly prowess roll to get across this chamber before you are all noticed.
I think it does seem like Pamape is probably moving first.
If this is the well, and I offered to let you all go under my skirt too, except Ruala, who's too big. But Ruala could try. So I'll roll knowledge of sages, which I just can't get a 1. I think.
Oh no, you want a wizardly prowess.
Sorry, I said the wrong thing. Wizardly prowess. I just can't.
Oh yeah.
What happens if I roll my number? No reason.
That's a success.
Okay, I got a 2. So.
Oh jeez. Okay, as the opening to Avatar starts up, the eyes kind of just point at this thing, and all at once they seem to, let's say, the vibe changes in this chamber. The pupils dilate again, and all of them blast this DVD player and start trying to follow the motion. But by this point, you are all charging through this chamber. And as the lights start up again, it's kind of if that one scene in Entrapment with the laser grid was the same, except with 5 people, and they were doing it as fast as possible. So not really very much like that scene at all. other than the fact that there are lasers. And with grace and skill, you all make it to the other side of this chamber.
Did anyone go under Baby's skirt for protection?
I don't think so.
That's fine.
I don't, because two of us are ghost-like and one's too big. I don't know about.
Yeah, maybe.
Obla-dee-obla-da.
Yeah.
It's really fun to name a character who just kind of is there, but everyone forgets about because they're an NPC who's following the party around, and also give them a name that nobody will remember.
Yeah.
Myself, just about included.
Yeah. Did she go under my skirt?
She didn't go all the way under your skirt, but at one point a laser was coming at her, and she is making little mirrors out of water as you're running, and she's reflecting back a little bit, but she misses one, and she just kind of grabs the edge of your skirt and kind of like flips it up in front of her for a second.
There are 2 children under there, and one's
One is called Indolence.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what is that? Christmas?
That's a Christmas carol.
Yeah. That's all. I just wanted to know so I could make about the Christmas carol.
Yeah. Congratulations, wizard. You have solved my eyeball laser grid puzzle.
Hooray.
All right. So, as you come through this chamber, you eventually find yourselves coming to a large door set directly into the stone. In it, there are 4 locks set into it. This door, I wouldn't call it ornate, but it is impressive. It's very large. It is sort of like iron banded. It looks like it is not made to look nice necessarily, but it is made to impress in a different way and more to intimidate than anything. As I say, there are 4 very large locks, but the odd thing about these locks is that set into the door itself, above each lock, there is what appears to be a smooth, round gem. And you can all feel kind of a low-level buzz of magic from these.
Are the gem? Wait, how many gems?
4.
Are they different colors?
It's a little hard to tell as Pampe gets closer with the torch. It does look like they are slightly different colors, but they're mostly like transparent.
Okay.
Does it look like they can be moved?
They look like they are pretty solidly set into the door.
Ruala, would you be able to just kind of burst through this or something? I don't really know exactly what your powers are now. Assuming you have powers, and if you don't have powers, that's fine too.
Yeah, I have powers, but they're not really for like attacking things. That's why I had to like eat that person back there.
I would classify that as an attack.
Yeah, but it's like more of a physical attack than a magic attack. I could try to eat. Yeah, I could try and just hit my body against it. All right, I'll do an arcane assault to do that.
All right, arcane assault the door. Yeah.
I start chanting, "One long head."
All right, I got a 4.
A 4. Rue, you rear up your semi-spectral worm body and crash it against the door, and it hurts your many teeth. This thing feels so solid.
Whoa, it's really solid.
I guess we gotta solve this puzzle then.
Can we, I guess, do like a roll to find out what is magical about the gems? Like if we have to like,
You absolutely
if
can.
it's like have to touch them in order or something. I don't know.
Simon says.
Roll knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I got a 7, and my target is 9.
Nice. This is a thing that people forget about this game. There is literally a thing that you can roll that's pretty much just solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Vivian, you reach out your wizardly senses, and as your mind touches these 4 gems, you sort of have an understanding of the nature of them. And essentially, these are like magic collection gems. So if magic is put into them in a way that sort of fills them to capacity, it's not a huge capacity necessarily, but that will activate the lock mechanisms. Essentially, you have to do 4 magical things at this door.
Okay. Yeah, we're great at that.
We are wizards.
Yeah, we're the greatest minds, and that's why we're great.
Hey, I mean, we were at the party and they said it.
Yeah, they said it, not us. Okay. Let's see. I mean, I could use my spell, but it's like an attack spell. I think it'll. I don't want to damage the gems.
I think you think that
let's do it.
It probably wouldn't like blow up the gem or anything.
They'll just like absorb it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try that because I think I can just do that, right?
I gotta remind myself how your spell works. That sounds right.
Well, it says roll a d12, and then the target takes half damage, and I get healed for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. If you were hurt, maybe that would have had another effect.
Yeah.
But as you cast your spell, this purple enervating energy into the gem, it does light up, and the color becomes purple, and you hear a heavy metallic click. Another interesting thing happens, and you're not sure if it's because of the nature of your spell where you kind of take something on, or if it's some other quality here, but you feel magic come into you in a way. And Vivian, you learn a new spell. You learn a curse. You can curse an enemy, and each of their turns, they will start losing vitality.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay. So, guys, I put magic into this door, and I think one of the gems unlocked. So maybe you each do one and see if it'll open.
Seems worth a shot. Yeah, I'm out of spells, so I will make an attack on this, I think. I'm gonna try and do like a really small level attack. So I'm not even trying to damage this, but just to like have a magical effect. And I think for flavor, James is like the mannequin sticks its hands out in front of it, and fog sort of pours out from its sleeves and forms into a little tiny storm cloud, and just the smallest bolt of light shoots out at Gems.
I love that. Please roll your die.
I do have a -2 here because I'm not good at attacking things, and I have not succeeded on a roll yet. So that's a 5 total.
A 5 total. Boy, and you're sure it's not a 6 though?
Oh no.
Pretty sure that I put myself in this position.
The little bolt of lightning hits the gem, and you can see this misty gray light kind of starting to form in the gem, and it kind of starts to dissipate a little bit. Doesn't quite get it there.
Maybe it has to be all you. Anyone else want to take a crack?
I'll try to just since my flame sword is a result of magic, I'll try to just hold my flame over to it to see if that will do anything.
Yeah, there's it seems like it's kind of reacting. It's a little bit similar to what happened with James's. Are you holding it to the same gem or a different one?
I think the same gem, because I think I'm trying to cover for James. That it's like
Yeah.
maybe it's like, oh, it was like
Giving it that
it
little
wasn't
boost.
that you did bad, it was that we have to do something else.
So this is gonna be a weird way to do this, I think. But let's see. Have a rule for this. There is a particular way to help a pal.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this counts really well for that, even though Zay already rolled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a whole thing, right? It's such a short game. Why can't I find it? There it is.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had it in front of me, but I thought you had already found it, so I didn't.
No, that's fine. They literally did miss by 1.
Yeah.
For what I was aiming for here.
Mm-hmm.
You would be using your spell.
That's fine, because my signature spell, I have to be hurt a lot for it to come up.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah, so you hold up the flame to the gem, and it gives that little bit of extra energy. Like it says there, you can roll as if you had used your spell to see if you get it back.
What do I have to roll to get it back?
You roll your die, and it's you have to roll over an 8, I believe.
Oh, I got a 7, so I do not get it back.
Okay. Sorry. So as the as the flame kind of like boosts that bit of magic, there's this weird sort of like flash of red in the gray mist that fills that gem, but you hear another metallic clank, and that one seems to have unlocked.
I think it just took a second to kick in.
Yeah. I'm
okay with that.
And you're not used to opening things, so it makes sense.
No, I am trying. I open things. You close them.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay, well, you're used to opening things, so that's why it opened.
Yes.
I am tempted to do a slightly weird thing, which is I'm considering giving James a red wizard spell.
Ooh.
But then I sort of feel like I'm skimping out on Pammy Pay.
That's okay. I want James to become more like me, so we can agree on whatever the fuck we're supposed to do with this door. The portal. It's not even a door. I just keep saying a door.
James. It keeps coming up with doors. James, you feel magic flood back into you, but some of it does feel unfamiliar to you. And it does feel like more Pammy Pay's thing. And you gain the ability to know the current location with full certainty of any creature whose blood you have.
Oh.
Oh. I've got to get some blood.
Why am I thinking about, like, a Marvel movie? Like, he's right behind me. But it zooms in on
We
you
just
and
hear James say that, and we're like, "Are you okay, James?"
I need to get some blood.
And like James has a mannequin body, so
Yeah,
like what does that mean?
I want to store it in there.
We gotta get out of here. These vampires are really.
She does need blood. She doesn't have any.
It's missing.
I don't have my signature spell now, so I think I'll just do a magic to get this door open, and I want to, of course, take the magical prism and shine the light of it onto one of the gems.
Now, I mean, we have already established that as a big magic.
Well, it was a big magic for Vivian.
What does that mean?
No? It's just maybe it's like closer to me or something. We're in a different spot. It might be right above us.
Sure.
It could be.
Yeah, go ahead. You can try and do a little magic.
Perfect. Okay, so I just roll a d12 and I have to get above like a 4, right?
Yep.
I got a 7.
Wow. Good thing it wasn't a big magic. You create this prism. And it kind of floats in the air in front of you, and the light from your torch passes through it. Now, this is specifically the magic prism that Vivian described you on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So the colorful light shines on the door, and weirdly, flowers kind of like sprout from the fitting that the gem is set into, like around it. And now I already gave James that red wizard
We're
spell.
getting all scrambled.
Do I give you the same spell, or do I give you a different?
Both are pretty funny, because if I get the same spell, then Pammy will definitely say I need blood. but it's also cool to know what a new spell would be, so...
You know what? You don't have one of these types of wizards in your party. I'm gonna say that you're gonna get another like unfamiliar type of magic.
Ooh.
Because this is like a light magic thing that you just did. So you're gonna get some yellow magic back to you. Which you can instantly remove one magical effect from a creature.
Ooh. Okay. I do still say I need some blood.
Need some blood. Not to do with this,
Oh,
but
I actually, it's so weird. I really just like need some blood.
I think she may have been bitten, and I know that's going to sound weird coming from me.
I've been bitten by something. The love bug. Herbie.
I wonder if Ruala has seen that one.
Yeah, does your wallet perk up at all when I say Herbie?
I've seen the whole franchise.
Herbie. I've been bitten by the love bug. Herbie, fully loaded.
The best one.
All right. That third lock clicks. The gem is alight. There is one gem left.
Oblongata, you want to take this one, or should I?
It's just like I've been traveling with. I mean, not you, I guess, but I've been traveling with you guys for. Yeah, you know.
What do you
Let's
mean you've
see.
been traveling with us? What was that supposed to mean?
Yeah, that was like a non sequitur.
Just
So you're
feels
better.
like
You're better at magic. You're worse at magic.
just feels like one of you should know my name.
Oh, I thought it was about that. We do know your name. It starts with an O. And I think
Ends with an O.
I was gonna say it. I think it ends with an O too.
Yeah.
Listen, when we first met you, it was your name backwards, so you can understand why we'd be a little bit confused about what order the
Well,
letters
it's
are
not
supposed
like
to
you're
go in.
calling me that name. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can have this argument when we're not underground in a cabal full of vampires or whatever.
So, are you gonna do your magic?
Yeah. All right. Let's give this a go. It's kind of a reflective surface. You can probably work with that, right?
Can you?
I think so. Let's find out. She runs full tilt at the door and dives at the gem. And she, you all kind of wince because it fully looks like she's about to just crash into the door. And instead she disappears into the gem.
Oh my god, not this again. Being stuck in another gem.
She got stuck in a cursed hand mirror.
It's kind of similar.
She disappears into the gem and it begins glowing blue. And you hear that fourth metallic clank. And all at once the door kind of shifts. And you know when a door has been closed for a long time, especially in the humidity, it feels like it sticks a little bit. There's this moment of like creaking and then the door kind of like pops slightly open.
What does the creak sound like?
Oh.
That was really good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Another riddle for the road for you. So the door slowly swings open, and it's a much smaller room than you've been in up to this point. It is very dark, and in the center of the room, there is a shallow basin. It almost looks like a bird bath. And there is a shaft of light. It's hard to say where the shaft of light is coming from that is on that. But then the edges of the room, it's this round chamber, are much darker. It's really just this focal point of this basin. You don't see any other doors in here.
Okay, can I go up and just like peek inside to see if I can see anything in?
Vivian, you look into the basin, and it's pretty simple. It is just kind of this grayish stone that this basin is carved out of. But in the pool there, it's not full of water. It's full of what appears to be just liquid silver or mercury. It is this shiny liquid that is still.
Guys, I think this has something to do with the Argent Crown. Because I think that's the lore too. But I didn't think it would be like a soup. I thought I would be able to wear it.
Soup. I get out my spoon.
Do we just take this with us?
I don't know. The bowl is like carved into the floor, so I don't think we can pick it up. Do you have like a
spoon?
A bottle?
Anybody bring any Tupperware?
I have some, but I'd have to dump out the potato soup that I made, which I really don't want to.
We could just eat that now and then.
It's gonna be better
Yes.
tomorrow once all the flavors meld.
Ah, you're right.
You hear from the gem in the door. When did you make it?
Yeah.
Earlier today. I was making the soup, and then that stag came out of nowhere and attacked you.
Right.
I had to dump all the soup into a Tupperware, and then I had to start fighting.
Yeah, we have to make it because all the milk is going to be spoiled.
We gotta use this milk now.
That was good timing.
Yeah. I guess, okay.
What is the riddle that would tell us what to do with this?
It says it was for white to walk with living breath, they'll seek a key to kill their death, the mortal moment be undone by kingly sign that slays the sun.
That guy did say that rock could block out the sun.
Well, he said a lot.
It was a tiny rock, though.
Yeah, a block
We're
could
talking
block
about
out the sun.
slaying the
But
sun.
if we got a big slingshot, a really powerful one, and slung that rock into the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a kingly rock. That's part of the riddle.
Maybe we have to mold this silver stuff into like a crown, into the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's what we could do. We could pour it into my mouth. And then if we get a hot enough heat source, my teeth
I'm going
are
to stop
shaped
you. Okay.
into...
I'm not going to do that.
Someone needs to say that to them.
I feel like we're not going to roast your warm body.
let me stop you before you drink some mercury.
I'll hold it in my mouth, and then we mold it using my teeth to make the pointy part of the crown.
The thing is, like, because I think the riddle kind of like referred to an eclipse, or it kind of seems like similar, kind of.
But we're so far away from the sun down here.
Yeah. But, Baby, your head is literally a moon.
Could it be
use
about,
your head as the mold?
Could it be about the book Eclipse?
I've never seen that movie.
Well, I said book.
I don't think they've adapted that yet.
Okay, you want me to dunk my head in this mercury? Is that what it is?
No, can't she just? Well,
That's my pitch.
I don't know.
Yeah, Yeah, but the riddle didn't say a worm
Can we
puts
see
this
if we
stuff
can, like-
in their mouth.
Can we, like,
I
does
kind
anyone have like a stick or like a long back scratcher? We can like reach in and see if there's anything under.
I could just try to dunk my head, and I don't have eyes or
I
nose
don't-
or a mouth, so I don't think it could hurt.
I don't really need a hand. I mean, if
But the
I don't
riddle
really
doesn't
need any of
say
this.
put a mannequin hand into the thing. It says something about an eclipse. So, is there did you say there was a light source in here, Tag?
There is light coming from up above. It's like you can't really see a specific light source. Weirdly, there's just like this shaft of light coming down.
Oh, I put my head in front of the shaft of light.
You, Pamipe, you lean over this basin and cast the basin in shadow. And as the shadow of your big moon head blocks the light that's coming down, where your shadow touches this this mercury-looking liquid, it just clears up and looks to be totally clear, perfectly clear water. And down in the basin, only a few inches down, there is a silvery crown that looks like it is specifically wrought to look kind of like molten metal. It kind of like flows with these very natural shapes.
I immediately just start yelling, Vivian, 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 Vivian.
Can I try to like? I try to like pick it up, but my hand just goes through.
I'm holding my head even though I don't need to.
James will just reach in its hand and just scoop the thing up and like
God.
offer it to the thing.
You fucking idiots.
Hey, Tag. Literally, you asked for this.
Taylor asked for this.
Are you guys glad Vivian is here? This is going so much worse.
You don't know what the last one was like.
All right, so that's the end of the game.
Did it? Congrats.
Okay, James reaches her hand down into this water and wraps their mannequin fingers around the crown and pulls it right out. It drips a bit of water, but it is in your hand. It feels solid. And even through this hand that is not really your hand, you can feel this pulse of magic. And actually, thinking about this, James, there is something to the feel of this magic that is familiar to you, distantly, and it's more of it. But you think back to Undertower very briefly, when the wizard bastard Never Was had that feather that they were holding. And James, you were the one who got the feather away from Never Was. And the feeling that you had about this feather before Pamipe destroyed it was that it had this feeling of dimensional magic. You weren't really sure what Never Was using it for, maybe just as kind of like a power source, but this reminds you of that same type of magic, but so much stronger.
This, I have to say, this doesn't feel good.
Maybe because you're alive. So maybe if you were dead, then you would be like,
Well,
this is
maybe.
cool.
Hmm.
Anyway, what are we supposed to do with this now?
It just says that it was the key to kill their death, so it does maybe give it to Ruala first. I'm kind of used to being like this. No, I'm being nice. I'm kind of used to being like this. And Ruala really doesn't want to be a sandworm anymore. So if it only works one time, then I think you should try it.
Are you sure? That's really nice. But
Yeah, I said I was being nice. So you guys...
you've been searching for so long.
Don't seem bitter about it at all.
Ruala, are you sure you don't want to be a sandworm?
Yeah, sandworms are like super lame. So
Okay. Because if you put this crown on, I think you're not going to be one anymore. So
You will not be anything anymore.
okay, I'll put it on my head.
That's a hilarious image all by itself.
Yeah, what?
Just this little silver crown on top
Anywhere.
of a Dune
There's one big
sandworm.
head.
What big?
One big
What
head.
was it? Big head or long? I thought it was a long head.
One long head.
I
Rue,
started chanting it again.
as the crown sits on your head, you can feel that same like pulse of magic. And you're kind of waiting a second and you're not quite sure how to make it do anything right off the bat. But as you feel kind of like the pulse of the magic, your vision kind of blurs for a moment. And it feels like you're traveling through a tunnel. And you see a space. You can't really make out details of it. It's blurry, like you're seeing it through a dirty lens of some kind. But one thing is completely clear, and it's your body. I mean, the body that you were in, tall, made to look like the creatures from James Cameron's Avatar, covered in fine blue fur, wearing the dress of some kind of elven archer for some reason. You recognize this body, and you want to reach out to it, to the person you were.
Mm-hmm.
And then the form turns towards you, and it changes as it turns. And it goes from being this one tall figure to another tall figure, also familiar, but not something you want to reach towards. The clothing darkens, the skin pales, and a wide-brimmed dark hat is atop the head. And you see the rictus skeletal grin of Never Was, walking around in your body. And they say, "Oh, oh, I see. You found something very interesting, didn't you? Well, you've saved me the trouble of finding it, I guess. I'll see you soon, Ruala." And you are snapped back into the chamber.
Whoa. Guys, I just saw that guy.
What
That
guy?
one bastard. What's his name?
Never was.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, from the tower.
Yeah. Oh, and he was in my awesome body, like my original really cool body. So that sucks.
Well, did we not tell you? We actually knew that that's what we saw happen. I don't think we've mentioned it.
What? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, you died. Well, yeah, you kind of were, I think you were like laughing, and then the laughing turned kind of like evil, and then we were like, oh, shit. And then
Oh man,
it wasn't you
oh,
anymore.
I spent so much on those body mods, and then he just kind of took it for free.
Bastard.
Yeah, but that's what the crown does, I guess. It lets me see that guy.
Ogladalo speaks up, now having entered the room fully. Sorry, you didn't naturally look like that when you say body mods.
Yeah, you can go to doctors.
You could go to some extremely unethical doctors.
Do you think you could just go back?
Nobody.
With your new body. It'd be easier than fighting a wizard bastard.
Ruala, okay, just to clarify, the body you're in now, this is not a result of body modification, right?
No, this is like when I died or whatever. I was being punished by God for watching for watching Dune.
The mortal sin of watching Dune Part 1.
Okay, yeah, I don't really have any more questions.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That tracks.
We all know about God and his punishments.
It's so important to me. Jason, Rue knows for a fact this isn't true.
You can't tell Jason what Rue thinks.
I didn't say what Rue thinks. I said what they know. That's not their opinion. They know that's not what happened. But this is the interpretation they've gone with.
Is the crown still on their head?
The crown is still on their head, yeah.
Does anyone else want to try it?
Yeah, maybe. Vivian, do you want to try? I mean, you might see Never Was, so it might not be that good, but maybe that's just a Rue thing, and we wouldn't understand.
I don't know. He might try and steal your body.
I don't have a body.
Oh, what if you ended up in my body? It would be like Freaky Friday, a movie I've never seen.
There's a book. You could have read the book.
I don't do that.
I'll take the crown and try it on.
Vivian, you place the crown on your head and you feel this wave of the magic kind of rattle through your form. You know that you are close, but you also understand that the nature of this riddle is not that straightforward. This is one of the steps, and you think it's probably the most important one you've taken so far. Feels like you're so close to something, but you think the next part is probably figuring out how to make this thing work. And that might not be something you do in the chamber where you found it with just so many vampires like 3 rooms away.
Yeah. Well, we know that it does something, so we're on the way. Maybe we should get out of here.
That sounds like a good idea.
With that very, very prudent statement, you all start to make your way back. While you're holding the crown, the eyes seem to look at you as you head back towards that room, but they don't act aggressively. They're just sort of taking notice, and they let you pass this time.
Ruala, Avatar changed them.
Yeah, it has that effect.
You pass through as this chamber of mostly inanimate but diehard fans of James Cameron's Avatar, I guess, let you pass. You make your way back towards the ballroom where the Shadow Court was meeting.
Can we hide the crown before we go?
I was gonna say
back
maybe
to the ballroom?
For sure, yeah. Vivian, are you hanging on to it?
I mean, I don't have anywhere to put it.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
It would be prudent for you to hang on to it, but yeah. It's just totally
Sammy, do you have any
see-through.
pockets, mattress?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got like a million pockets in here.
That thing's got pockets?
I start taking things, like, just taking things.
That's so cool.
It's like a cargo dress. Just taking stuff
Marie
out of pockets.
Antoinette's cargo dress. As you make your way back into the ballroom, you immediately notice that Hagiani Dedrun is still just kind of staring off in that one direction, muttering to himself, "What was I looking for?" Felt so important at the time. You are more or less able to leave this place if you want. Although you can, you could hang out if you wanted to, I suppose. But
It just curtsies people. Goodbye. We've been here the whole time.
I very theatrically drop a handkerchief as we're going by. Get her dirt.
She looks down at it. You drop. It's fine.
I try to kiss her rings, even though her hand's not out.
Yeah, her hand is just on the chair.
I move my head towards it, and then I flounce away. A woman of mystery.
Gert leans over, and I think definitely anyone other than Pamape who wants to have heard this can. But she whispers to her attendant, "Write down the name of that wizard. She intrigues me."
Yes.
It's not going to go well.
And you make your way back to the surface. As you get back, Grant is waiting outside for you patiently. How did it go?
I don't know. It was okay. Do you, I guess, like, if you like vampires, it was pretty cool.
Vampires. Never met a vampire before. Don't have
much
of an opinion.
Do you want? Oh, no, because you can't fit that way. Well, next time, well, probably, yeah. Next time if we meet a vampire, then you'll see. I mean, they're not that big of a deal.
It's
I don't know, guys. I thought they were kind of cool.
And that should tell you all you need to know.
And as the lot of you are sort of debriefing a little bit, reunited by great surprise with your just yet another dead person. We sort of back away from this situation. We see the broader forest that you passed through. We see a smoky green light moving directly towards a small village that you passed through, and we see the pale glow of antlers that branch into almost fractal patterns, going in a different direction, rampaging through the wood. And we move far, far away from that place. and we zoom back in to a different location where a tall figure in dark clothing with a wide-brimmed hat is working on something. It seems like it might be some manner of machine or some sort of artifact, but never is at work, ever with the rictus grin on their face. And they nod to themselves thoughtfully. And then they turn to come back to this work later. And as they turn, they look again like Ruala the Veridian, walking back out into the world. And I think that is where this adventure ends.
Yeah.
To all of you, you absolute maniacs.
If you're watching this at home, you have to clap.
Please clap.
Please clap.
Cool.
I just hold up an applause sign. That was great. All right.
Incredible.
I forgot for a second that now I'm in charge again.
Yeah, it's you now. I'm done.
Cool. Okay, so we're gonna go around one last time and reintroduce ourselves for people who came in at the end of the stream, and then also let you know other places you can find us, projects we're working on, etc., etc. And this time we will start with Zay.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm Zay. I've been James the Grey, I guess. Yeah, I do a lot of this. I play a lot of RPGs. Some say too many. I also write some, which you can find on my itch.io page. I have a handful of games, including one that...
Award-winning game.
I was gonna say, after I was waiting for them to finish and say crit award-winning games. Yeah.
Technically, yes.
What are you doing?
Award-winning.
Technically, you won an award.
That's just an actual fact.
Somebody wins an Oscar and they're like, yeah, technically I got an
Technically,
award.
I got an award.
He won an award. There was nothing weird happened.
I have to be humble about it. I have to at least pretend. So yeah, I have some games, including one that has won an award. If you want to check them out, I think some of them are pretty cool.
Yeah, they're linked in chat, and you should check them out. Including, this would be a great time of year to go back and watch our one shot of the aforementioned crit award-winning game, Totally Normal Human Roommates, because we just all played a bunch of not this group, but everyone on that stream played a bunch of weird monsters. It was very fun.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
It was good.
Excellent.
Zavery, what about you?
Hi, I'm Zabri. I have a Twitter. Can you find me there? Probably not.
I never know how to get in touch with Zavery.
I don't have anything to plug. Today is the last day of Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So if you'd like to learn more about sickle cell, you can go to sicklecelldisease.org and maybe find out how to help in their search for a cure and stuff like that. They'll let you know.
Do you have anybody that you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, Pete!
Shout out to Pete!
Thank you, Melanie. She's not watching today because she's at work.
She can go back and watch this
Yeah,
later.
I told her, she's like, oh no. She was so distraught.
She can come back and watch the shout out.
Yeah, shout out to kids.
My orders all mixed up. Jason, I think that's you.
Hey, I'm Jason. Let's see. I have a podcast coming out soon. This is my podcast studio. Usually there's microphones back there, but we had a party, so we had to move them. It's called the Over Under Podcast. Every week, my roommate / co-host and I pick a topic about movies, and we each pick a side whether the movie is overrated or underrated, and then we debate it and come to a conclusion at the end of the episode. and we're going to have guests on and stuff, and we're going to talk about lots of different topics. So it should be fun. You can find us on something like @over/under on most platforms. And then I also produced a short film for the 48-Hour Film Project Philadelphia a couple months ago, and that film is called Roll for Friends. It's about TTRPGs, and it won Best Film in Philadelphia. So also, yeah,
I didn't know about
not
this
just
at all
technically,
somehow.
but we won an award. It's an award-winning film.
Yeah.
It's and the next public screening is in Portugal next year, but you can just watch it on YouTube. So I'll send a link to Taylor.
Yeah, I was
something.
looking in the other Discord, but I don't remember what channel you put it in. Oh, did you put it in self promo? Yes, you did. I was looking.
Okay.
I was looking in.
Taylor
Humble
found it
Brag.
herself.
I got it.
Yeah, I'm not a humble man, so.
Yes, I just linked to that video in chat. It's very good, especially if you like TTRPGs, which presumably, if you're watching this, you do. Tag, how about you?
Oh gosh, I've been Tag. I was here also.
Okay.
I don't really have a lot to plug at the moment. This was a game I wrote. You can read it. It's a good read.
Do you have any games that you're working on right now, or that may be
Yeah,
coming
I do,
out?
but what good does that do? There's a part of me that was like, should I talk about the podcast I've been working on that isn't released and I don't know when it will be? Should I talk about the game that...
You can talk about either of those things.
I have a lot of upcoming stuff, but really nothing going on right now, I guess. My wonderful partner and I have been recording a very stupid podcast, which is, it has the greatest title of anything that's ever been on the internet. It's called Get Richie or Guy Trying. It's also a movie podcast, but it's, I would say, narrower than Jason's. We are forcing ourselves to become the #1 experts on the films of Guy Ritchie, one at a time, so that we can definitively say which Guy Ritchie movie is the most Guy Ritchie movie. It's going great. It's a lot of fun so far, but it also isn't anywhere yet, but it will be. I think we have a Twitter account attached to it that we haven't done anything with yet.
You had to have squatted on that name in fear that someone else would come up with it.
Feel like I get away.
It's a good name.
That's such a good name.
Yeah, my partner's a genius. I don't know what to tell you. As for me, I haven't won any awards, and shouldn't.
I don't think that's true.
No, you
don't. You have some funny awards.
I have some awards that are fully fake and made up by my friends.
Yeah.
And I guess I won those. This game that we're playing tonight, Wizard Pals, I think won an award that was titled Best Game Where Literally All the PCs Are Wizards.
There you go.
Which is true.
So,
That sounds like a very prestigious.
But as far as my game stuff and upcoming things, I have since late February been working on a game called Fager. It is a Norse mythology game, because I'm so sorry about the way that I am. It's also not released yet, but I've been working with some amazing artists on it. I'm very, very excited about it. And I don't know, just keep an eye on my itch page. I would say keep an eye on my Twitter, but I'm going to go away from that for a little while soon, and maybe Twitter will be gone by the time I would come back. So probably my itch page. I have a Tumblr currently. I don't use it, but game stuff will go there at some point, right? Keep an eye out, I guess, is my plug.
I think Melanie just put the link in the chat for the Get Richie or Guy Trying.
Yeah, GR or GT is the on Twitter.
Because I think it was too long. I think I remember Melanie trying to get the original one. Yeah.
She was so mad.
I remember her messaging me about it. Yeah. Cool. I think that just leaves me. The main thing that I do is I do stream on this channel. I've been playing through all of the Witcher games, starting with the first one, which was maybe not the best idea because the first one's a little frustrating, but soon I'll be done with it. And then also I'm still figuring out all of my games for next month, but I do know that on the 14th, I think I'm going to be playing a game called Pilot Hill, which is a comedy horror game where you play as pizza delivery drivers who are trying to deliver pizza in a Silent Hill-esque town. So I do have that coming up. And then I think at the end of the month, I'm working on another one, so I'll probably announce that on Twitter, Tumblr. You should follow me on Tumblr if you want to see my opinions about House MD, which I'm rewatching right now for some reason because my brain likes it. So my hot house takes. And then also I've got 2 more weeks, I believe. Yeah, 2 more episodes. I've been running a limited series of Monster Hearts over on Girls Run These Worlds, which is why I haven't been streaming on this channel as much because it's taking more time than I thought it would. But that's really, really good. It's set in a college. There's been a murder. There's flirting. There's it's very queer. It's a great game. So if you're not already following Girls Run These Worlds, you should check them out. I just put the link in the chat so you can follow them by clicking the little heart. And I think that's everything that I've got going on right now. So I think with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thanks everybody for watching. This was super, super fun. It was great to play Wizard Palace again. It was great to play with this group. And now we still have more we need to do. We need to get people back into their bodies or help people admit that they want to be a sandworm. No, not mentioning any
Which is
names.
fine.
So do you all want to say goodbye to chat and goodbye to the YouTube pod?
Goodbye, chat, and
Bye.
goodbye to the
Goodbye to
YouTube
chat.
pod.
Goodbye to YouTube pod.